PNM win. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Well, the tax in my house and thing. And me cash up online and thing. What a thing, oh, what a thing, what a thing, what a thing. Down in Trinidad, I pay a gun, shut a fling. Every day them get up is a war, war, war. Where the Ras and Aki really fighting for. Cause the rich still rich and the poor still poor. No matter how we knock on the da da da. Well, the poor can't take it no more, more, more. So them nines, them a go drum and fish, shaw, shaw, shaw. We really don't care about the la la la. We really don't care about the la la la. Well, me can't buy no books and thing. And me can't buy no food and thing. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Man, soon as PNM win, youth want smartphone and thing. But they can't go to school and thing. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Man, soon as PNM win. What? Tell me what I want, tell me what I want. Don't in Trinidad, please tell me what I want. Each and every day and you pick me a band. Up on the radio station me I hear about horn. But when I read the news another youth get con. Another mother cry, another mother mourn. Me a teach the youths from dusk till the dawn. Tell them bad mind can't stop me at all. Can't get no green, can't get no white. Get on the scene, let's lock man down. Can't buy no shoes and thing. Can't buy no school books and thing. Oh, what a thing, what a thing, what a thing. Don't you Trinidad, what a thing, what a thing. And me can't buy no house and thing. And me can't buy no food and check the dad, the gun shot a fling. Can't get no green, can't get no white. Get on the scene, let's lock down tight. Well, me can't buy no books and thing. And me can't buy no food and thing. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Can't get no green, can't get no white. Get on the scene, let's lock down tight. Can't get no green, can't get no white. Maloney, get on the scene, let's lock down tight. See, locks, more what up until sour. Johnson, what that's up? Coronat, large, what that's up? Hey, San Fernando, you don't know. Hey, what that's up? Beacon.
Well, yeah. Oh, we are.
Pala, polo, bolo, bo, pa, pa, pala, pala, balo, bo, pala, lele. Yesterday has come and gone, leaving some of us to mourn. Times we had and friends we lost, and while nature took its course, we have seen the many faces of slavery. We have seen the British Empire fall. We have seen Hitler's contribution to history. We have seen the rise and fall of the Berlin Wall. We have seen famines. We have seen wars. As you well imagine, we have seen nothing yet, because in time to come, America will have a black president. In time to come, there's going to be an active world government. In time to come, the world will see human life cheaper than dirt. In time to come, from outer space, aliens will land on the earth. Team Africa will win the World Cup. Marijuana will sell in the shop. Science will produce bread out of stone, and then create the first human clone. Technology will reach a new high. Buses and cars will fly in the sky. Trinidad will make a nuclear bomb. In time to come.
In time to come.
In time to come. Don't doubt that. Glenn, tell them for me. Pampa lo polo, pampa la la. Pala balo bo, pala lele. Moving from the dark ages, man has progressed in stages. Through the stone and iron age, till we turn another page. And we saw the adventures of Alexander, waging war in his obsession for conquest. Inventions like the chariot and the saber, the weapons that put Europe under duress. Mankind achievements sometimes were great, and his glorious moments mark the passage of time. But wait, in time to come, mankind will have a colony on the moon.
In time to come.
This calypso will be a top 40 tune.
In time to come.
Scientists will synthesize silver and gold.
In time to come.
People will have real sex by remote control. The first dead man will come back alive. Cancer and AIDS victims will survive. Babies will born with mustache and beard. Penis and kidneys will be repaired. The government will ban cigarette. Breakfast and lunch will be a tablet. A 2-year-old will split the atom.
In time to come.
Never hear you?
In time to come.
One more time.
In time to come.
Babalo. For this new millennium, mark my word, it was some strange thing to happen. Watch. Some of you gonna live to see that. Palabalobo, palalele, papala. That day when the Wright brothers, after tremendous horrors, got their little plane to soar, all of mankind stood in awe. Just like when that great scholar Benjamin Franklin discovered what would be electricity. And again, when Sir Alexander, that kingpin, give the world the first telephone company. But all of that is a drink of rum in our drinking glasses, compared with what is still to come. In time to come, an asteroid will destroy New York City.
In time to come.
California will submerge under the sea.
In time to come.
Almost every athlete will be bionic.
In time to come.
Every national park will be Jurassic. Explorers will find El Dorado. Computers will compose Calypso. Man will begin to travel in time. Police will stop adultery and crime. People won't go to church anymore, and there will be a gender world war. Preachers will heal the deaf and the dumb.
In time to come.
In time to come.
In time to come.
Crazy.
Well, crazy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate that. Nowadays, the things we see.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Wondering.
In time to come, eh? My crazy.
World of science and sex. We have
Man come with all kind of thing there, boy.
tacit acceptance.
I must say a pleasant good morning to all maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers. Good morning to you. To all senior citizens. Yeah, that people will lock on, man.
Too modern.
Yes. Using the late gadget and thing in the late transportation.
Pen on this.
Good morning, teacher, and every one of you. And let me say a pleasant good morning to those of you that look on to us on Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube, those of you that look on to us on Corridor Transformation, Love Lavanty, Workers' Right Platform. A pleasant good morning, teacher, and every one of you. Tara, a pleasant good morning to you. Bernadette, Richard, Nikki, Nick, good morning, Gloria. Hafiza, a pleasant good morning to you. Matilda Rhodes, good morning, Darrow, good morning, Pearl, good morning to each and every one of you that are coming. Good morning. That already Ann Brown, good morning to you. Oh boy. Sing, good morning. Primraj, a pleasant good morning to you. John, good morning. Hey, Quincy, good morning to you. Kisoon, good morning. Richard Ramlogan, pleasant good morning to you. Oh boy, all of you that already lock on, don't forget we had a share. Matilda Rhodes, good morning. Nadira, a pleasant good morning to you. Bernadette, good morning. Trini Nairo, Jacqueline Sami, a pleasant good morning to you. Yeah. Samuel, good morning. Nice. Early birds, man. Early birds. Aisha, pleasant good morning. Angela. Yeah, Angela saying good morning to you. Denise, good morning. All Denise. Let me say pleasant good morning to Dave and Deborah out there. And Dave and Denise. Davika Balkaran, a pleasant good morning to you. That's what we're talking about. Anna Ramsami, good morning. Sheldon Roach, good morning to you, man. All of you that already lock on and sharing on to each and every one of you all contacts out there. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you.
That was when the Black Power caused big mayhem.
Sharon, good morning.
We saw an island rise up just so from out in the...
Macon, good morning. Annie, good morning.
I want you to know.
Vikram, a pleasant good morning, Alan.
An African.
That's Hercules.
Mastana Baha.
In time to come.
Trinbago will have a woman prime minister.
In time to come.
Kitchener's son will come here and start to sing.
Dexter Sanders, good morning.
Who knows, he might become the next road match king. Indians and Africans will unite, and there will be no more racial fights. All of them drug pushers will cool down, and Dan Ratsing will hang up his gun. Sandy Grande will be a city. UNC will win in Lavanty. Pandey one day will stop drinking rum.
In time to come. In time to come. In time to come.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I want to hear this headline. At first, let me see my murders. The murders here. And only let me know. I would look by well, it's 357 in the papers here. Where it is? How much? 360?
Let me do something.
So I don't remember things this happened, not so base not.
Since the beginning of time, man has never found himself.
So it's 360, 57 here. Where is the murder count all you have? Anthony, good morning. Let me have the murder count all you have there.
Witness manifesting.
But in all the
in perversion he did wallow.
The headliners, Miss Mova takes Miss University anti title. I mean, remember elections is close.
And therefore
it's all about blackness and Lavanty them is the best, you know. They're all over. Yeah, what's all you go see? Yeah, and then in the wake of all of this, UNC counselor quits over bad treatment. Wow. Yeah.
In time to come,
woman gunned down in Tobago.
We'll get together and pray.
I understand. I'm going to look to clean up all of that.
It's getting closer to Judgment Day.
As Miss Santa Cruz and many people, and we telling you all, it would not be a walk in the park.
Will prevail.
Don't feel, my co-host, there's be very optimistic and will give all kind of thing about and Tobago this and that and that the other.
Sorrow and pain.
PNM is not a party that cannot be beaten. It have been proven this. It have been proven that. Yes, it have been proven PNM have been beaten.
The creator dancing to
it have.
Soca rhythm.
In time to come.
But it also have been proven
In time to come.
that is not a hard take. And the only time this girl licks outright is when all the opposition forces come together.
Let me one more.
Yeah, crazy saying time to come. People in Laventine go vote no PM. Lennox say so too. It go happen. I don't know. He go be dead. I go be dead. Let me be real. We ain't seeing that. I can't be optimistic for my grandchildren and children and them. I want to know why no now. Why no now is
we live to see these things come.
that seat is still PNM. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Anderson Wilson on the beat.
John the Baptist.
Let me say a pleasant good morning to Ravi, aka Postman.com. Shafika, all of you. Daddy, all of you. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Tony, the wife, Ravi, sister, all of you.
Who once said the bloody World War will occur twice?
Understand? Grieving fathers of friends killed in San Fernando crash.
For things going to
Fix cable barriers. Them cable barriers down long time is millions spent. They make that whole thing deteriorate.
US
PNM for you, not a boy.
rise back.
Oh, you don't ever see what PNM doing with your money, with your bare eyes, you know.
So will jam non-stop.
Anything you seen they doing with your bare eyes that they're doing, bet your bottom dollar.
Olympic gold.
It really not nothing in it for we, you know.
Crop and aims will amaze the sporting world.
What are doing with the bare eyes right now?
Get 1 million.
I surely could see some of the things that they're doing with the bare eyes that have nothing. It in no way it can help me.
Because there will be
It's all about bubble.
Umage.
The eyes is bubble.
Ishmarat will tell me the truth.
When people call me this over here, it means something. Let me hear. I'll go take that call back a little bit. Hey, call me early day while running through here.
Come make it.
In time to come. In time to come.
All right, let it have plenty Californians that are sing so.
Boy. Analyst tells PM, don't blame opposition. Yeah, don't blame opposition for foreign investor leaving. That's what it is they say in there. Don't blame. These people are sick people, you know. You know that. The government blame this.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
What a name. What a name. Adriana Rhonda Smith. Nigel Black. Good morning to each and every one of you. I hope you're all already sharing. Regin Jamarach, a pleasant good morning to you.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Tobago records 19 murders. Taxi driver murdered. Vehicle still missing. A man shot dead in Rio Claro collecting money. Adego Martin man killed 5 months after getting out jail. But he did stay in there. Man, I really don't know. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Lennox Smith. I see Tobago recorded 19 murders. I see analysts. A lot of analysts is saying don't blame the opposition for investment and leaving. You don't are going to know long. Just organize, give you a day. We see here former UNC candidate quits. The UNC say he claims his bad treatment at the budget talks. He refrains from wishing the party well. Wow. And we'll keep going on and on and on and on and on. All I gotta say is Trinidad and Tobago, look out for a lot of more Venezuelans coming Trinidad. But I'm sure that done cool long already across here. I gotta find out from Mr. Rima if all that protests. Chavez smart, not Chavez. Maduro is a smart fella. I shot Maduro, he ain't doing them. He know them ain't going and stay in them like Trinidadians in a kind of way. They go stay in the streets for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. He will let them tire out themselves. Tell them again for them realize, boy, we hungry, you know. They be still on the food there, everybody go suffer, you know. Let me leave Maduro there for the next 6 years and then we go back inside the hole, yes. It look like things done cooling down in Venezuela already, man. Lennox Smith is thing cooling down in Venezuela already. Are they going back to their homes? Or is the whole place hot still? I hear you wear them out. They're getting tired. Things trying to boil back down easy in Venezuela day. Especially when one or two people get locked up. And that kind of bacchanal thing day. Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you.
Pleasant good morning to you as well, my friend. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Loud and clear. Give me an update
yes,
with Venezuela now.
Yeah, well, the latest is that things are continuing as per normal. As you know, Maduro has put the matter. He has applied or appealed to the highest court in the land for some kind of decision on the matter. Of course, we know that is rhetorical. That is a process where he knows the outcome, just as this prime minister, where he has a clear and distinct advantage. He pretends, of course, is some kind of objective process when in fact he loaded dice against. Put another way, he loaded dice is in his favor. We saw that, of course, very poignantly with respect to the 3 additional seats in Tobago. We saw that where he went to the parliament, but knowing full well that the EBC will, of course, do his bidding, and then he thought he would have gotten an advantage. But when the people, as is in the case right now in Venezuela, there's still a substantial amount of protesting taking place. Of course, what he did, that is to say, Maduro got, of course, his own cronies to come out as well to counter. But I don't know if that will give him any, or if that will last pretty long one side or the other. Of course, we see in places such as has happened in Sri Lanka, and now, of course, in Bangladesh, where the prime minister had to fly out and go to India for rescue, and of course the people took over the prime ministerial residence, and of course claiming that as a consequence of oppression and maladministration and economic hardship that they had to take action. So let's see if that is going to materialize in Venezuela. Of course, it's a different ball game. Venezuela has the largest deposit of oil in the world, and therefore countries such as China, with that is a nuclear power in their own right, and opposed to the West, the United States being the head of the West, let me put it that way, as well as Russia. And then, of course, you have the socialist communist state of Cuba right here as part of their ally, and of course not to leave out Iran. So that the situation in Venezuela is different, and therefore sustainability, or should I say longevity, of Maduro is well entrenched and is built in. having regard to all of those circumstances that I mentioned
Nice.
above.
Oh boy, what else you have for us? You don't have to go so deep, my brother.
Yeah, you have to go deep because I want people to understand, because some people believe that we don't have to look at the external factors related to Trinidad in order to solve our problem. Our problem is not necessarily domestic. And I want to tell people now, I'm going to read this for you. It's part of the news. And I want to thank upfront Miss Arima last night on the corridor transformation. She did mention it, and I did the research. And boy, Andy, you will not believe what is transpiring under our very noses. And that is the OAS, the Organization of American States, had a meeting on the whole question of demanding of the Venezuelan Authority to send details of the elections, all the ballot paper, etc., etc. They want verification. So they held a meeting for that purpose. And of course, Trinidad and Tobago is a member, and that is where I am going. But of course, they needed 18 states to ratify that position, that the documents relating to the elections be made available to independent entity sanctioned by them, by the OS, in order to, of course, settle the matter once and for all, very objectively and scientifically, the outcome of the elections in Venezuela. Well, guess what? They needed 18. 17 alone voted. Well, 17 voted, so it means therefore they fell short of the number that is required to pass that resolution. But I want to read for you who were the countries that participated and how they participated in that particular vote. Trinidad and Tobago, as I said, is a member of the OAS, and therefore ought to have been part and parcel of that. So those voted in favor were Argentina, Canada, Chile, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, United States, and Uruguay. Those that abstention, they did not vote, but they were there, were Antigua, Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Grenada, Honduras, St. Kitts, Nevis, and St. Lucia. Guess who were not present at all? Not participating in Wednesdays, which was I think the 29th of July, 29th of no, I think it's the 31st of July, the last day of that particular month. So not participating in Wednesday's session were Dominica, Mexico, St. Vincent, and
Trinidad and Tobago.
the Grenadines. Yes, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and of course, yes, and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I believe that such a significant regional development, at least the government should tell us, well, listen, such a thing is taking place, and the position of the government on Venezuela. Dr. Rowley tried to give us a half-picked duck position on the matter, but I think it was very clear that he continues, of course, to give us this specious position that non-interference, as he would have said, and expressed at the United Nations and at the OS in the conduct, but not to go to the meeting at all. And one has to determine whether or not it is in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago, and whether or not we must be dealing, even though there may be some economic benefit to attach to having relations with Venezuela, even at this stage, whether or not futuristically it will pan out based on the position of Trinidad and Tobago. We have always been saying on this program that Trinidad and Tobago must, as far as its policy, whether foreign policy, whether regional policy, whether hemispheric policy, must be one that is always nestled in the interests of Trinidad and Tobago. That goes without saying. But more significantly, it must not be so biased, it must not be so conspicuous that if the situation changes, if the pendulum swings, that Trinidad and Tobago will continue to enjoy a truly, because of its truly neutral position, will enjoy, of course, economic prosperity, particularly in circumstances where our major commodity, a wasting asset, oil and gas, we are a mature state or province in that regard, and therefore that is reducing exponentially. And so we need to have, especially where our neighbors are concerned, whether it be Guyana or whether it be Venezuela in this case. And I'm saying that Trinidad and Tobago's position cannot be so biased that if a new government takes root in Venezuela, that we will lose all opportunity. And there is diplomatic principles that could have been initiated in that regard. But this government clearly has nestled its fortunes and the risk of taking Trinidad and Tobago forward or not forward, depending on the perspective, if a new government takes root in Venezuela. And of course, no pronouncement on the human rights violations in Venezuela that has created not just instability for Trinidad and Tobago, but also for surrounding countries and the hemisphere itself. That, I believe, is a disservice to Trinidad and Tobago by this Rowley administration, by, of course, nestling its future, Trinidad and Tobago's future, in that kind of what I consider to be one-sided policy. And I thought this was important this morning, only on the ground report, to let the population know what this government has done. They have not attended that meeting at all to find out, essentially, because if they were there, it appears that they might have abstained. And I see no reason why any government...
Oh boy. And I am so sorry, Lennox Smith, with always saying, I am so sorry that most of the people can leave out with what it is saying there, because the numbers now billing. Hence the reason I'm showing you. Organize, just touch, so later down, when it have all the people we could talk to, you could organize and go through this, a very important thing that most of the people will be missing anyhow. So could you please just touch the headliners until later on while we bill, and then you give them all the important things that will be missing out when they do come on. Go ahead, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed, but I told you with a limit come on when we bill. All right, that being as it may, of course, relatives of a murdered airport taxi driver, crime is sickening. That is one of the headlines this morning. Former Minister of Health, Dr. Emmanuel Hussein, dies. Yes, indeed. He is of NAR fame between 1986 and 1991, when, of course, he was a minister in the Robinson administration, who was then Prime Minister, the late A.N.R. Robinson. Venezuelan migrants, we will return home once the situation improves. And then, of course, there is another one. They were inseparable, two young lads.
At least give me the first set of lines and some of them things. That is all. Just give me the first set of lines.
Yeah. No, I have to do it off my reading.
Oh, but I nothing, man. You organize press it
as the Guardian does. So I have to do it off. Having read it, then I'll be able to, of course, give some explanation. But in terms of each one of them, well, the Venezuelans, well, that speaks for itself. That's why I didn't really need to make any explanation there. They are going to return home as soon as the situation it returns to some semblance of normalcy. Maduro out of office, for example, and of course there are others who are in support of Maduro's position that there's some kind of right wing insurgency led by the West and in particular the United States to undermine, the usual dictator story that will of course justify human rights violation and mismanagement of the resources of the country and generating of course an oligarch. 3 boys missing from Rainbow Rescue Home Rescue Home for Boys in Maraval. Yes, indeed, of course. Prison commissioner on hospital escape. Remember, there was, of course, a prisoner who escaped from the hospital. Well, the prison commissioner is saying that we dropped the ball. Well, it's refreshing to know that at least somebody in authority will say so. The other natural corollary, the natural consequence must be somebody must lose the job or something like that. Heads must rule, but you wouldn't find that here. But at least it's good that the prison commissioner said that we dropped the ball. Court excursion bus owners can challenge 15,000 license fee. So here it is, another matter relating to the licensing office, because I know of one in Tobago where, of course, 15,000 fine was imposed on a bus driver because his bus was being licensed all the time with an extra seat, one of those folding seats on the side, but it remains, of course, folded. But it was the bus is licensed for 1 seat less, but that improvised seat, if you want to call it that, remains in the bus. Well, a licensed officer saw it, even though the bus is licensed for 1 seat less, and even though the bus did not have that particular seat occupied, but yet still he was issued a ticket for having more seats in the bus than the bus was licensed for, based on that folding seat, which of course came with the bus. So all of these things needs to be ironed out, because it's certainly unfair. So the court is saying, of course, an excursion bus owners can challenge a 15,000 license fee. I have not read the entire article. I will try to do so during the course of the program, but certainly it seems to be a similar situation to that of Tobago, even though the circumstance may be slightly different. Appeal court dismisses the challenges to levy on car insurance premiums. Again, I didn't have the benefit of reading that. I was so enthused with that situation at the OAS that that consumed most of my morning time. And normally I'll get up about 4 o'clock and get abreast of the news. Trinidad and Tobago to implement Interpol security enhancement. Well, Interpol is the International Police Organization, and one would have expected that is already afoot, but it appears that they're looking to enhance as an enhancement as opposed to introduction. Plibdeco records 41.3 million in profit. That's a good sign as well. Updated Dolly Boss gunned down in Tobago. So another murder in Tobago, record breaking 19 now, as you rightly said. NFM records 29% increase in profit. That is the National Flour Mills. NEL reports 140.8 million loss. That is the National Enterprise Limited. You remember that that entity that was developed by this government to have small man invest in profitable entities called the National Enterprise Limited, and it was supposed, of course, and this marks another loss, and in this particular instance, the record is 140.8 million loss. So just as for the first time, NGC under this government. There was a loss. The HSF and all had a decline under this administration, demonstrating, of course, its inability to manage anything at all. So these are some of the Keyshawn, of course, Walcott ready for Olympic javelin quest, and we can go on and on. Bandits shot, wounded in Princestown robbery. It's about time. Some may say, and enterprise man charged with market vendors murder, and of course adverse weather alert still in effect in Trinidad and Tobago. PM by UNC logic, Paria should be closed because of a police probe. Well, of course, we examined that yesterday, where of course Dr. Rowley will bring some disconnected issues and try to make it look as though it is relevant to a particular matter that he would want to focus on and have the population focus on. In his usual, of course, deflection of responsibility and his propaganda propensity, because in this particular case, he was making the point once again, and you, of course, did it very nicely by referring to the ground report and his experience with the ground report, saying things that we never, or focusing on things that we never focus on. All we said on the ground report, and I take full responsibility for that. Part of it is that we have been focusing on Dr. Rowley and his licentious pass, his raping of a school child, and she becoming impregnated with, of course, his first child, Gat Allen, and it's that we were focusing on, not his mother, not his father. But he have that tendency to broaden it in such a way so as to look for sympathy. There shall be no sympathy, Dr. Rowley. PM laments no convictions under a Firearms Act. So he probably, in this case, from what I interpret, I didn't read it, but obviously he laments, meaning that there should be some kind of conviction under the Firearms Act. He, of course, launched his own investigation. The court said that was illegal, and of course, Gary Griffith got the court approval for him not to make it public, and he's trying to find ways and means, of course, to make it public from time to time. He makes reference to it, but not in the manner that will get him into disobeying the court's instruction.
Yeah, but
right,
what's
so
Lennox? Yeah, while laughing at all the bad, Rowley bad. He trying all how he want to talk, and he and people say he might remember things. How he remember not to play talking all the time because he can get some serious problem with the court. Or he could with all the bacchanal self. How he could remember don't talk.
Whether it's intuition or logic or actual experience or rationalization, I think one has to commend you, Andy, for that ability, because clearly that is a very, should I say, significant observation. And I have been looking at people like Rowley, and of course I categorize Maduro as a fellow like Rowley, where they lie, they deceive, they try to manipulate circumstances and situations verbally and otherwise, utilizing the state resources. But they seem to always want to appear that they are sincere about what they are doing. And when all of us know that they are trying to hoodwink, gaslight, and to, of course, deceive the people, but they have a straight face and they appear to be serious. So well done, my friend, in that regard, because I'm seeing the same thing with Maduro and all of the despots across the globe, whether in history or contemporary, we see that. And at the end of the day, the people who matters, identify them for who they are, and then, of course, they are summarily dismissed and become part and parcel of the history, but in the wrong place, the history of despots and the evil people who have, of course, been born and have some influence during their lifetime and did awfully bad. So
boy, that man so
done.
bad, but he playing it quiet. He ain't want to look how Gary have him in a corner there, you know. If that, yeah. You don't like that.
Yeah,
you don't like
because
that.
He don't want to be the first prime minister. All the power he believes he has.
Yeah.
He don't want to be first prime minister for the courts to insist on the police to, of course, yes, or to be subject to contempt of court, which of course is provided for with simple imprisonment, and some 7 days normally is the normal punishment that a court will give for defying some court order or being contempt of court. So he's treading lightly, even though he claims that he's not a legal-minded person. But clearly, when you hear him speak, you could swear that he has some kind of knowledge or deep, should I say, learning as far as court matters are concerned and legal matters are concerned. And of course, protected by the office itself of a prime minister, because clearly the amount of power that the office of prime minister has in the wrong hands, as Rowley is, indeed, you can have all kinds of difficulty, the abuse thereof, manipulation, breach of fundamental laws, and the office itself will protect you well. And of course, it is nestled in someone who has no serious moral or ethical standards, or is simply put, is a criminal and criminal-minded.
Hey, boy. Oh, boy.
Yes. Because he has built a criminal enterprise called the PNM. You have to just watch at Balize House and understand what is happening. You can't move from a broken, bankrupt institution in 2015 and suddenly billing 100 million and counting.
Hold 1 minute there, call.
Monstrosity.
Go ahead, caller.
We have a call now. Yeah, take the call. Good morning.
Morning, Andy. Morning, Lennox. Sorry.
Good morning.
Yesterday I left early. Just imagine this, boy, I didn't even sleep last night. I saw this prime minister on the TV, and that is the way how a prime minister getting on with this kind of language. Thousands of children on vacation right now and have to listen and watching how this prime minister in this country has to be talking. What a president in this country. Isn't a president is an important person in this country? Nobody seems can pull up this prime minister, pull him aside and say, here boss, you're going down a wrong road. And this is the way you're talking to the nation. People listening to you all over the world. And that is the response of this prime minister. Because you know what? He wants to follow the whole country.
Lennox Smith, your background.
Bankrupt institution in 2015 and suddenly billing 100 million.
Lennox Smith, always say coming back to us right now.
He wants to sell out the whole country, and because the opposition leader put down foot, and that was good of her, and give her a kudos for that. You put on your foot and say, hey, no way. Nobody ain't coming out and buy out that. This is for the citizens of this country. So because of that, this man talking out the timing, but Trinidad and Tobago, listen to that man. And if only make a mistake and put down this prime minister, we gone. Because Donald or whoever, Lam or whatever, go where you come from and buy what you want to buy. Don't come here and tell me little what we have. All already gone. They sell it out. And you want to come and buy out the little opposition leader. I give you kudos for that. And you standing firm. You stand firm. We're with you. And God will do the rest. He will do the rest. This prime minister cannot lead a country like ours again. He has to get out. All of them have to go.
Well, she speaks volumes.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think all in Trinidad and Tobago are convinced, even those who may be recalcitrant, may be resisting the reality of Trinidad and Tobago today by this government. We have been hearing, of course, consistently some of them on this program as well. They have found their way in this program to try to spew their what I consider to be disconnected verbalization, not nestled in reality, and it just demonstrates that the devil also has his or her disciples or imps.
Right? None of them end up like, let me say, Wall Street and many other people who wake up and smell the coffee and understand that continue to just supporting a party with loyal to that type of extent can't work, especially if it is open and bold that this PNM party is of destruction. You know, so that's why that people shocked that Wall Street talking the way he's talking now. I ain't. I know eventually somehow, so long somebody has some mortal common sense or let me say spirituality in them, I will say that they will eventually will wake up and smell the coffee. Morning.
Well, there are other factors. Oh, we have a caller? Go ahead, because there are other factors that one has to take into consideration in human circumstance. It may be one's interest. And as we have seen, no minister of government, for example, would want to abandon Rowley at this point in time. Maybe closer to the election date, but not now because of the benefits that they are personally deriving and the influence that they wield at this point in time. So therefore, they are not going to do the right thing.
Yeah, but you've seen where UNC councillors and former this and that and all of them, they just, making, they making things to me, people have to talk. People on the whole have to talk, and everybody have to organize and put into consideration not yourselves, but the country first. The country first.
Hello, morning.
Oh, go ahead, caller. Go ahead, Felix.
Andy, I called you yesterday. Answer.
Remember, call me after the program. When you call me after the program, you tell me, well, you can't call, talk to me one time. You go call me back about after lunch or if it go, right? But you didn't say.
I call about 1 o'clock.
And when you was
calling, I'll still call you. Something important I want to tell you now. But I want to tell you.
Call me after the program now. Let me talk after the program, after 9, so boom, because after that, I working, I doing remember how to do my thing.
Yeah, all right. But just tell Miss Lahoketa whoever called it or something. Anytime she see them people come on TV, take off the TV and go and take serious. Because they're making no sense.
That is Lahoketa, Miss Lahoketa.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk.
All right. Yes, Lennox Smith, you were saying?
Yeah, so I was saying that in human circumstance, depending on the degree and the value that you place on a particular interest, you can well throw a blind eye to the iniquities. I mean, and we could go back to Venezuela. There are those in the army, for example, who are enjoying circumstances, material and otherwise, that they would not normally get. Yeah, and therefore, they will hitch their wagon, and therefore loyalty to Maduro. It's the same thing here in Trinidad. But of course, at the end of the day, the majority, as we have seen, the microcosm of that is in Tobago, where, of course, in spite of all of the fact that the PNM THA would have employed the majority of the people in Tobago, and therefore they depend on the THA under a PNM administration, they decided this on principle that they are corrupt, that they don't deserve to be in office, and therefore when the opportunity presented itself objectively, they went to the polls, and of course,
Tobagonian and Trinidadian is different.
And they voted.
All right.
No, I'm just making the point. I'm making the point about human circumstance. And I'm saying that because that occurred, we cannot say that didn't occur. If it didn't occur, it was a different story, but it occurred. And therefore, I can use that as an example. And whether or not you see me as cherry picking, that is a fact. And of course, the same thing in Venezuela, the same thing here in Trinidad, where government ministers are not expected to abandon Dr. Rowley, having regard to the benefits that they're getting. And it is the only thing that could have them attach or gravitate to Dr. Rowley. And not to say they are unaware of the iniquities and the breach of the rule of law and the principles governing good governance and the misbehavior in public office and the rank and unadulterated encouragement of criminal behavior at the highest level in Trinidad and Tobago and associated with government departments and agencies promoted and nurtured by, of course, an administration that is lawless. Yeah.
That's true. Oh boy. You have anybody to say good morning to on your side here?
Just a minute. Let me just switch it to the system. Let me get that organized. I did not put up that board, so my apology. I'll have it up momentarily. But people, of course, you can switch to, I know last night, again, we had the same problem when I put on the video, so I have decided to talk in the background, and that worked well, and it has been working well on the when the ground report is in session. I don't know if it is something external or something planned by some sabotage or some saboteurs that they know that the corridor is in the night and therefore they sabotage the night. But during the day, the ground reports program is well, of course, disseminated and moves through the system that we have here with ease and as expected. But certainly, so that is the reality, and we have to face that. So I will talk that a little later during the course of the program. But those are some of the issues that internally, it is still early days yet. We're just in the 4th week of this new dispensation. We are encouraging people, of course, to get their devices. And if they do have one, which it is the norm in Trinidad and Tobago, I believe there are more devices, more telephones than people in Trinidad and Tobago. Some people have 2 and 3 and so on. That is what would have make up the advantageous numbers as far as telephones are concerned. I'm talking about handheld or smartphones are concerned. So we have to encourage them to utilize their smartphones to get on the ground report, to get the ground report on mornings, their favorite cup of tea, most people are saying, and to get the best information and as raw as possible that the system will permit within, of course, certain parameters, reasoning. But the fact of the matter is that, yes, we are moving from strength to strength in this new location. Of course, we have not yet put together the documentation
this one
to
day.
advocate for.
Oh, boy. Go ahead, caller. Morning, caller.
Morning, Andy. Renison here, boy.
Go ahead, Renison.
Hey.
Morning, Lennox. No, Lennox
Good morning.
was now saying, Lennox was now saying something this morning that is instrumental about the sabotage that has taken place on the social network. And here is why I want to make my contribution. Now, if you go on YouTube now, anybody that watching this program, there is a part in the live section on YouTube where you can see any live from across the world. And for the past few weeks, I was watching that with the Ground Report program. If you go there on the Ground Report program and press the live, that way you can see all the live, you're not seeing the Ground Report there. And that is part of the proof that could show that they are blocking the programs from airing all over the world. So you naturally have to go on the program and type it up. And that is something that we would have been observing from our platform as well when we would have now started. So there is entities that are trying to block the message from going through. And that is a true fact. And Lennox know that, we was working and trying to work with him as well.
Yes,
and
yes. Thanks very much for your assistance. Yeah.
So that's my contribution. They are entities that are doing that. And them people and them like, come on, man, we stop our place here. The other entities that are all kind of program 3 and 4 whole day. One little program where you're trying to stop. Anyway, good morning, Andy and Lennox. Mikey, I need your voice, boy.
Not yet.
You're on this week.
I will come to his rescue on this occasion. Not yet. But a little later in the program, certainly you will hear. And even if it's not today, you would certainly hear him during the course of the programs, right? That we deliver on a morning from 6 to 9 a.m. Yes, of course. Good morning, Mala. Mala is there. Of course, Sharon is there. Sharon Biki is there. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, of course, for your commendations and your salutations, which, of course, always motivates. See a love sign as well, a love symbol. We call it a emoji or something like that. Let's call it in social media terms. But thank you very much for your comments, and you could continue. Of course, I'm seeing it very slight. I'm now getting familiar with the technology too, because a steep learning curve, so you'll understand that. But I was making the point that we have not yet put together a package or a correspondence to the authorities, the Ministry of Digitization, they call it. I think it's a ministry that Dr. Rowley has claimed and, of course, taken credit for, having regard to his focus, according to him, on digitization. One wonders, how does that stand? How credible is that stand when he came into office and withdrew laptops from schools and now, of course, attempting to replace them, or should I say reintroduce them in the way that can benefit, of course, each student, but at the same time not claiming that somehow he was always for digitization and the use of the internet to bring information, to get information, and to make people more informed. I saw in the case of Bangladesh, for example, where the internet was cut, and of course, I think in Nigeria there were protests that are taking place as well, and that also was a victim of the authorities not wanting to share or to cause ordinary people to share information. And what our good friend referred to earlier clearly is an example of that. Whilst, of course, it may not be universal, it may not be a national policy or intent or action, but certainly when you are eclectic, when you select people, such as the Ground Report or the Corridor Transformation, or indeed, of course, the workers' rights to broadcast in the way that they ought to and that they plan to, and to reach as much people as possible. And you have, of course, those who believe that what the material that they are disseminating is not in their interest. They then, of course, take action to, once they have the capacity, they take action to stymie and to eliminate. Then you know that, yes, indeed, dictatorship and, of course, autocracy is rife, and that kind of situation must be resisted vehemently. and
Oh, boy.
without fear of contradiction or in any way could be countenanced by a truly democratic state.
Nice. Let's get it warming, man. Ghana suing the CIB for US $34 million. That is St. Lawrence Dupre here. They're saying that the government of Guyana has commenced legislations against Clico Investment Bank seeking to recover US $34 million from the financial company that is a subsidiary of the CL Financial Group. Oh boy. So them are not looking to organize.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because Gaston Brown, I think, of Antigua Barbuda has also telegraphed a similar position as well. And I think there is a development that is taking place even in Grenada, but certainly at the highest level in Antigua, they said that they want to talk with the government because, as you know, the government has taken over the assets of this particular regional, formerly regional, formerly a conglomerate, let me put it that way, and that has regional tentacles, and they have of course attracted investors from these territories, and they are prepared to go to the what court you said there? You're sounding like the International Criminal Court, or you're talking about the...
No, the Just Preparing document. The Just Preparing document.
Caribbean,
but what is nice, Trinidad and Tobago, is that Bangladesh PM resigns, flee country after protesters storm official residence. Oh boy. That's how we touching it, man. What's your thoughts on that, Trinidad and Tobago? For the 400 and something of you on my side that is already locked on. Let me say a pleasant good morning to TT Rebel. Oh boy, Rick Lutchman, good morning. Marilyn C. Charan. Hey, Ole asked me to ask Anne-Marie Amin. Ole, we haven't heard from Anne-Marie Amin for quite a while. So y'all will give us an idea if everything is okay with Anne-Marie Amin. I know how to see Marilyn C. Charan. I know how to see Matilda Rhodes. But Anne-Marie Amin. Hey, Annie, a pleasant good morning to you, Rasta Jack, all of you. So what's your thoughts, Lennox Smith? The Bangladesh PM resigns and flee.
I did mention it briefly. Yes, she has flee is a she. She and the last name has evaded me, but she has fled to India, and the people, just as in Sri Lanka, has taken over the offices of the prime minister there, and they're sleeping and eating and having a good time. And the army has decided that it will take charge, but of course they will put a coalition arrangement together, an interim government, a caretaker administration. Of course, so what was at stake that created that should I say, undesirable situation that caused the Prime Minister to run? Well, again, similar to what is happening here in Trinidad, high-handed conduct, economic non-prosperity, even though the promises would have been there, a long time in office, has created a sort of complacency and believe that somehow, no matter what, the people are going to vote for her, in spite of the economic disaster that the country would have plunged itself into, poverty intensification, the destruction of the middle class, and generally hopelessness, particularly among the student population, which seem to be the order of the day these days. Students are rising up. In fact, they are called the Generation Z, as was indicated and created in Kenya, and then of course spread to Ghana and now Nigeria, and we see in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, and clearly, no doubt, in Venezuela, that is emerging as well. And as some people would say, if you see your neighbor house on fire, best you wet yours. But Dr. Rowley believed that somehow he can be the exception to the rule. Well, I've heard that. I've heard many like that crow and end up by Kentucky.
So true, but we also seeing AV oil drills productive wells. Yes, and that story, Lennox Smith organized with that computer man. Go in there and read the articles, now, man. Oh boy, he say after claims of supply fake oil to Petrotrin. Yeah, that was saying no. After claims of supplying fake oil to Petrotrin, AV Oil and Gas Limited feels vindicated that the newly drilled oil wells in the Cat's Field or the Cat's Hill field is now the largest single producing onshore oil field in Trinidad and Tobago, accounting for on average 2,100 barrels of oil daily. Wow. In a news release yesterday, AV said on August the 1st, its newly drilled oil wells in the Catskill area were open to production. Yeah. He said 3 of the wells flowed, and when treated, the aggregate producing more than 1,200 barrels of oil per day. Production rates have since been choked back to approximately 800 barrels per day to improve and sustain the well's performance. Wow. Man making real oil now, man. After fake.
Andy, that you see
politics.
You see that is how conmen and persons who are versed in propaganda will like us to not to be in a situation where we can be eclectic or silo. We have to distinguish what that recent development that may well be legitimate as opposed to what transpired when the fake oil matter was on the agenda. And even when the matter was discovered then, and then they had to, of course, produce what they say they were producing, 4,000 barrels a day. It didn't reach close to that, even when that matter was brought to the attention of the authorities and the public. Today, of course, having discovered some successful wells or here it is, of course, trying to make it look as though that they are vindicated from what their actions were prior. No, they're two distinct, and we have to be very, very careful that you do not have the propaganda machinery of elements such as those to try to legitimize something that was illegitimate or illegal at that point in time. If it is legal now, if it is legitimate now, well, fine. But then, certainly, because they could not, after it was discovered that that Petrotrin oil refinery was receiving oil that was never delivered at the oil refinery. Because that is clear. The audit showed it clear, very, very clear. In fact, I think the chairman then of Petrotrin resigned in advance of the can of worms that eventually was opened up by the opposition in particular. But the fact of the matter is that they could not have produced 4,000 after that was discovered. So it is clear, common sense.
Oh boy, pure common sense. Yeah, well, in the sunshine, I seen you in the sunshine rolling numb on a corrupt Maduro. Are we also seeing here? Where they say rolling numb on corrupt Maduro. I'll go into that article in a little bit. They say a banned Chinese firm in the sunshine. They say a banned, all you understand that to know, a banned Chinese firm lands $475 million HDC deal. Well, that will be on page 24, which I'll go into that in a little bit. Also in the front line of the sunshine here, inverted tax doubles vendors. Oh Lord, down to the doubles vendors and all go get taxed.
Somebody brought that to my attention yesterday, And I thought it was, if it was so serious, it would have been hilarious and laughable. But not surprising. They have not been able to get their way in totality, whether
Hold
it be
1 minute there. Go ahead, caller.
Or
Father open and make the label. Everybody getting an ID card in a lynch. Just the section on the pen that with a pinch of salt. All of them coming here.
Yes, well, while you continue, Lennox Smith, I also seen here whereby the Sunshine said Rowley leads Emancipation Day celebrations, right? And then they say, but locals cannot access loans from African Bank. That's a story there by Ken Ali, and you also seeing whereby, because I see yesterday, please God, yesterday, Kingsley take a turn on David Mohammed, and I also see it, brother David Mohammed.
I heard him, but Dr. Rowley, in hinting the impediment, I thought it was so superficial, so superfluous, or so inane, frankly. That here it is, Dr. Rowley is saying the main argument, the main humbug for having a representative bank here is that the bank is insisting that its employees are not taxed. I think that is something that could be easily worked out, because the bank itself will have to be taxed. And while, of course, one may not be similar to the other, and whilst, of course, there may be a policy of inequity, but I'm sure special arrangements can be made. I think it is more, Dr. Rowley, protecting the interests of the 1%ers who own or who dominate or who manipulate, yeah. The financial sector in this country, and don't want to share it. You know, it's just like the soft drink and the the alcoholic beverage industry in this country. I remember very distinctly, we tried to import beers from Jamaica at one time, St. Vincent. I went to St. Vincent and looked at their beers and so on. And we were bringing them in on the CARICOM jetty via, of course, one of those, what is called windjammers that would ply between Trinidad and the other islands. And immediately Carib launched a protest with the Ministry of Industry, and we had to shut down that operation. So that is how what I consider to be.
That show you how the 1% and them just lock the place. Make sure nobody else can.
They have a monopoly and lock the people into whatever price that they come up with.
Here what they just do too.
There's no competition.
Yeah, here what they do too. Any competition come, all of a sudden beer just get cheap. If the competition selling beer for $5, Carib go sell beer for $4 to lick up that competition.
A clear example is handheld sets, telephone. You remember, B-Mobile was, of course, making a killing, and they had the market to themselves. As soon as Digicel came in, prices of handheld sets tremendously, miraculously, if you want to call it that, just dived.
And time too.
Including B-Mobile handsets as well, to the point where they are now second place because the competition was so stiff, and the efficacy.
Again, B-Mobile was never to reach there. It's state enterprise. It was never to reach there with the Lisa Agard, the this, the that, and the other. B-Mobile left from a number one, and that's how it always is with we Trinidad and Tobagonians. When it comes to we own, we have no pride, we have no joy, we have no compassion. We don't believe, because why? We own, damaging we own. Look at Dr. Rowley. We refinery, we energy sector, and what's the state? We cocoa industry, we sugarcane industry, we banana industry. While Guyana, all them things still kicking up still, and them have more oil and gas than we know. Imagine that. We have no pride in nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
The inefficiencies that seem to be part and parcel of state enterprises in this country over the years. I mean, is reflected in that B-Mobile scenario, because remember, B-Mobile was supposed to continue to lead because the state, you and I, the coffers, was still giving them some buttress support financially, and yet still,
but you can't remember when the fall?
They fell behind Digicel, and if there was another provider, they would have fallen behind them as well. So much so that they had to close down a lot of outlets.
But you can't remember what make all of that bacchanal?
Part of the operations have now ceased.
Yeah, but you can't remember what make all that bacchanal? The 200 and something million or 300 and something million where they organize and buy oh God, Massy Communications.
Yeah. Fiber cable. And in fact, Ampere is
the new TSCT.
Yeah, that is now leading the charge there, but I'm not certain because it's a state enterprise if it really can compete with Digicel. In fact, Digicel has been doing so well that they have moved their headquarters, I think, to Jamaica. Trinidad and Tobago is no longer seen as the Mecca or the headquarters, and they have reduced their administrative operations here as far as a head office is concerned. They have moved, of course, to the City Mall, I believe, not the City Mall, a mall down on Frederick Street there, having moved from very spacious and what I consider to be voluptuous accommodations up on Marval Road, where this bank is, the headquarters of Ansem Merchant Bank is. That building, part of it they occupied. Well, they are no longer there. They have more constrained space, and they have moved their main operations, we understand, to Jamaica. Yeah, so
that's so.
Trinidad seem to be lagging behind.
Trinidad ending up a piper, like the prime minister, a piping country where this man drive this country to an extent where do Trinidad and Tobagoans really have pride and joy for the country of their birth? Do they really, really, really and truly love this country, or they love the race, Indian, African, they love corruption? Do they really want to see a better Trinidad and Tobago for themselves, their kids? And that is a question that is really, really, really needed to be thrown out there. Do the people of Trinidad and Tobago really and truly love the country? The way I love this country, boy, I can talk for me. I love this country. I feeling how while we talking here, and I saying, look at how we cocoa industry down, this down, rice down, rice, because we used to have rice, all kind of thing, this, that. Look how everything mashing up. On top of that, the pitch lake, and look at how everything going through. You understand? Nothing. Look at how long this water situation. Look at the hospitals. Look at the bad roads. Look at the infrastructure. Look at the life of all of us. Look at the advantage the business people, the business sector point on us. Boy, and do we really, really love this country? Do we really, really, really want betterment? Do we really, really, really want to live as Barpo they say, Mr. Barpo, a striving country for we kids? And then do we really want to stop home invasions and the crime situation in this country? Or not really, because we are all part of it? What it is? That's a question I will always wanted to try.
Andy, that is a critical question for any conscientious Trinbagonian to address, because we may have limited biological lifespan on this earth, but we have children, and the children will make children and so on, and therefore grands and great grands, etc. And therefore there's only one space they have, which is Trinidad and Tobago. And whether or not the people who we have put to lead and to be creative and be innovative if they continue to fail as they have, the promotion of mediocrity as opposed to meritocracy, for example. We identified that in the whole question of the inability of TSTT to compete with, let's say, Digicel or anybody else that may be allowed to engage in that sphere, that sphere of operations in Trinidad. And we are seeing it on a daily basis. You're quite right. What is happening with respect to our agriculture and, of course, food security and the reduction of our food bill and food substitute as well. Where is that going? Our education system. This government seems to be bent on, of course, the promotion and the institutionalization of mediocrity, and it is clear when one looks at the simple example of open scholarships moved from 400 to 100, and then of course saying that somehow you save money or you expand the scholarship agenda by putting it in the hands of either the Ministry of Education or the Ministry of Community Development to distribute bursaries, but those bursaries traditionally and practically always ends up in the hands of persons who are connected to the PNM, and then it's only them will get the jobs, even though they would not have done well as somebody else if they had allowed it to be in open competition, because in open competition you get the best. But when you institutionalize by that means mediocrity, and then of course you have the corruption and the cabinet itself recusing itself so many times, investors who are looking in quite apart from the crime situation does not see it as a pleasant place to invest. And worse yet, and I think this government is so myopic that it is inevitable that if they remain in government, Trinidad and Tobago will disintegrate, because we have next door Guyana. So a man have some money to invest, let's say in one of the northern metropolitan countries, and watching at Guyana and watching at Trinidad and Tobago. At one time, they would have come to Trinidad. Trinidad would have been the choice in spite of our burgeoning, inhospitable criminal environment. They would go to Guyana. No. And Guyana is, of course, the next place to be. So much so that businesses from Trinidad are going to Guyana. And as the vice president of that country has said, in spite of Dr. Rowley's castigation of their dollar value, when, of course, he lost the local government elections, and talk about, of course, the NTA getting a certain amount, and people are speaking untruth about the numbers and asking if it's a Guyana's dollar, and it reached the authorities there. And what was revealed? The vice president of Guyana revealed that businesses that take up shop in Guyana are now, of course, utilizing their influence to get foreign exchange because it is not available in Trinidad. And then he suggesting in the process that is unfair to Guyana, because they're taking Guyana foreign exchange, the Yankee dollar, the US dollars, and buying goods and so on, or replacing machinery, etc., but splitting it between Guyana, their operations in Guyana, and in Trinidad. That is where we are. We are rapidly getting where we ought not to be with a government that has real true interest in the development of the country in the way that the UNC has demonstrated in just 5 years between 2010 and 2015.
Oh boy, let me go and do some voice notes, some voice calls.
Yes, let's go there.
Oh boy. Like the
people of course, are calling. Don't forget, you can find us on Corridor Transformation on this side, on YouTube, Corridor Transformation, and on Facebook. You just type in Love Laventon and you will get us here. We're doing much better in the day than in the night, in the sense of non-interrupted connectivity and distribution. But go ahead, my friend.
Nice.
Notwithstanding, of course, Real Media TT, you need to key into as well for your favorite cup of tea between 6 and 9.
Morning, Andy Williams, Michael Kerr, and Lennox Smith. Gong report. Andy Williams, if you want to understand the people we live in amongst, listen to Brother Valentino. Trinidad is nice.
Andy, good morning. Andy, all those Trump lovers, the man love what Maduro is doing. Trump lovers, he love Maduro. Trump will love to do the same thing Maduro is doing, steal election. So all you Trump lovers there, like that clown, English. He will like to steal election and Trump will love that. He's doing a great job according to Trump. Just like you always steal election and the clowns like we will love that. Talk to you later.
Nice, but send your voice note there. It wasn't too nice, right? So make sure and send it. Send it to. Don't let it be so muffled. Next one.
Andy, good morning. I don't know if I told you already. I cannot take part in the politics no more because of my spiritual life, right? I cannot be part of the politics no more. Right? So I won't be needed those information no more. Okay?
Okay, so you
all right.
Spiritual life.
Understanding.
I know.
Spiritually.
So, Lennox Smith, would you be able to tell me if people have a spiritual life when the spiritual realm they can't take part in the politics that is a part of their whole life? Whether spiritual, down to the culprit where they buy in the church and the painting of the church have politics in it. Politics is soul, politics is everything. So I understand why some people believe if they praising God and and believing in the Almighty, that so long as they go in that direction they can't take part in politics. I can't believe in that kind of nonsense, you know.
Well, of course, let's use a more kind word rather than nonsense, because for her, it is legitimate. So one has to respect that. But immediately, what comes to mind is that part of the Bible that talks about render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and you live in a physical world, you live in a biological world, you live in a society. A society, of course, is a collection of individuals interacting with each other for basically survival, and therefore all of those things, the common denominator is politics, and therefore if access to Bible, for example, is nestled in politics, the kind of Bible is nestled in politics. The kind of churches and religious beliefs and tolerance and laws and so on relating to religion is also nestled in politics. So maybe it may be visionary on that person's part.
Online saying it's in the Bible, Andy, and somebody said good morning to Mother Bernie, Antoinette, and then Andy, that's Jehovah's Witness. I will have to ask, send a message back to this lady to ask if she's a Jehovah's Witness, that not taking part in the politics. Let me see what else here, because I think I see.
Yeah, there is, of course, doctrines and dogma that says that from a religious or from a denominational perspective, but generally, religions and denominational entities don't say it, whether they is Catholic, whether you are Pentecostal,
but Katie say
only the Jehovah's Witnesses have that position.
Yeah, but they have Jehovah's Witnesses that is going to vote. But again, look, Katie say here, Katie Acton say, Andy, that's bullshit. Right? Mother Bernie say, she not talking the truth. She maybe went with a cult. Boy, let's see, because that one confused me, boy. I don't understand why Christian people, so long as you're seeking Almighty God and put He first, You don't supposed to study the politics? Ah, boy, something wrong. I'll tell you. When people, I just watch it in this way. You see, when they want to excuse, not they give up on the PNM, but I want to excuse not to support nobody else. That's the kind of talk that I believe that is talk. Because I can't agree in no way with nobody telling me. As long as I just pray. I know saying, but I just pray. I believe in a higher being. There's a God. I believe he helped those who help themselves. I believe that we have to fight for what we want. God never, when the Bible says that I don't want to make a sacrifice because I serve in he, to tell a government that is crooked, that is corrupt, that is Obia doing. Rowley say it is a Obia man. And my God go tell me, back. Because my God better than Rowley own. And lead the demons away. I believe my God tell me how to fight them demons, you know. And God must win evil, you know. That kind of talk, why he ain't there and what people want to come around me with them kind of thing. This make me feel like evil will win. Evil like evil have a place and God will never overcome or beat evil. When dynamite believe at all. My belief is God must win. But it can't win when people just saying, oh Lord, please today, stop the criminal from jumping my fence. Boom, the criminal jump your fence. Go on with your lay money where you save. Go on with your cell phones and all your jewels. Rape one all your daughters or all yourself. Down to the man of the house, the rape he too. He too the raping.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K. Andy Williams.
You are part of the world, but you want no part of it.
That can never.
Incongruent, yeah.
Something wrong.
I remember even Jesus Christ when he went to the synagogue and the people were, of course, taking action, love of money, etc. And he left it in a mess. He threw down table and all of that and said, this is not what is required when you are there. In other words, where you are and the circumstances that you would have found yourself in as a human being, you have a duty and responsibility to correct things based on moral and ethical and spiritual values.
Let me take a look at that. Some calls here. Real people calling now at the end of the day.
Yes, let's go.
No, but fear is fear. And look how that happened. Because I send back a message to ask her if she's a Jehovah. Because I know it's a Jehovah witness. I know that this vote, it have who don't and all the things.
Their belief is that. So that's a different story. But generally speaking, but in spite of all of that, they are living in a world that is governed by people and governments and so on. And therefore you need to, and there are injustices in the world as well that they should have a focus on. And if you abandon that,
what went on
you're
is
not doing your duty.
What went on is, remember while you talking and we waiting for calls and people to get interact, I sending out messages, blasting. So it's plenty phones at the same time because it's thousands of people. Boom. She really did send a message to me before saying, well, she turned to God and thing. I see a voice note now. Well, I saying, well, hey, part of the program, their voice note telling me what, boy? Telling me that don't bother to send them kind of messages again to her. So it means the only way I can send that is if I block a number. I can't block your number. Right? He's a good one. He's a God-fearing person. So I can't block your number. But when you send that, let me hear that again.
A more appropriate response has to be that you're not actively involved, but to say that you are going to throw a blind eye to all of the iniquities, the sins, and the evil that is being spewed out of an administration that clearly has lost its way and is extremely inhumane.
Go ahead, caller. Let me hear now. Go ahead.
Calling, yeah.
Caller, go ahead.
Good morning.
All right, let me just think some of them. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Yeah, Andy, morning.
Morning.
Yeah, Andy, morning. The Jehovah Witnesses, they don't vote.
They don't vote.
So if you say you know some Jehovah Witnesses that vote, you have to investigate that again.
Yeah, but I know one or two that I know this vote, but they're on the low profile.
Well, it had to be a low profile because they don't vote. So because of that, they're trying to say they don't want to take part in politics and
Part of the belief.
That is what they say.
Okay. So that all right. But you believe that if there's a part of the world that you're not supposed to be a part of the decision making of the people that is here to govern you, or that here to when it coming to your clothes prices being high, or your school books being high, or your roads being good, or you're getting you believe in that you don't supposed to take part of politics if you.
Of course, Andy, you must. If you don't bring anything to the table, you must complain when anything happens. You understand? You can't complain about the meals if you don't bring nothing to the table. You can't complain about the meals. That, and also they don't ever join any kind of services that tote gun. If they do, they're not supposed to tote no gun either, because their excuse is that they pay taxes. I don't know their sense of working out things or what.
All right. Wow.
Right.
I'm gonna say pleasant good morning to all. Jehovah's Witness.
But that is contradictory, Andy, because it means therefore they participate.
You see, remember, I never get into the religion yeah, but then I never get into the religion. Well, I don't think you and all ever get to the religion that deep to be able to say
I know as much as you know.
Yeah, boy. But it just feels funny, and if a Jehovah's Witness is, well, that means that they may not be listening to the program right now neither. I don't know, it's not toting guns or. Oh, I don't know. If anybody that is a part of the Jehovah's Witness faith, would you be able to give us an idea of why? Let me go to the lines. Everybody calling, man. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Andy. Lennox.
Morning. Good morning.
Andy.
Yeah, boy, Anderson Wilson.
You must educate everybody, you know.
Yeah. Let me hear now, boy.
Jehovah's Witness doesn't take part in politics. I mean, go on a stage and somebody decide that it will your Hines or somebody, or the Honorable Kamala. I can't call you Honorable Hines, you are not Rowley. So, well, I must take right when I talk with education. Right? But their civil rights will be to vote. That's their civic rights. Right? As a citizen of any country, regardless of whatever religion you're concerned. Right? So, anybody saying that Jehovah's Witness, don't vote partner, only go and show me that, so in proof. And only can do that. Right now, Pastor Dr. must be custom that woman. Pastor Dr. would have find 1 minute really nice and I will let me mom and them and all these pastors and then religious people would just hug up on Rowley. But Baba Burke and all must be custom. Yeah. Religious people will take part in politics. But you get that family. Only stay home and people suffering, people dying. You come on the radio, I wasn't gonna call, you know. But when I see all educated callers like you all, family, I don't know if it's the moon full or I know the full moon now pass, I don't even double back up. That you could call here this morning and talk about don't send me voicemail. Because we have time to waste like all here. How much all the religious people and churches is taking part in some book child, tell me children. Only talking about Jehovah's Witness car vote, is children who car vote. And how much are we watching children unable to go to school? I send out my number and I go send it out again. Only one person, and the person that mentioned Anderson, you all don't mention my name. He's doing this. But otherwise, Andy, people are interested in that. All the come and screen out and they go report every morning. And all the issues and problems. Or there was a single mother, a black woman, black like you, Rowley. Black woman. You telling me none of the ministers, the minister who said none of the see the woman and CNC chillers and or any social media. With a 12-year-old. Nobody tell it. The man explained, she said, 1 minute she said, sleeping in the hospital. She will sit down in Mario's. These are black government and we own African Emancipation Day. Yeah. Why how much percent are African? Yep. The population in Trinidad they go starving.
But let me ask something. Let me ask something, Anderson Wilson, so in case we had to correct something. I don't think Pastor Clive Duttins is a Jehovah's Witness. I think Pastor Clive Duttins is a Seventh-day.
I never said he's a Jehovah's Witness.
No, just ask.
I was the best. Every class I went in, all my teachers they loved me. My teachers didn't like me, you know. he's also a spiritual person.
Yes, he is.
What about
He
the
is.
deacons and the deans and all these people
He
in the
engaged
church?
in politics. Yeah.
Yes, he engaged in politics.
Yes, yes, he
he
do.
find Rowdy nice.
And
One minute he
Barbara
find
Blake
Kamala
as well.
bad. And I don't just watch this man as a spiritual person. So while I get ready to go and see what's happening with my son, I say, boy, here this man, boy, Pastor, I tell him the cussing.
Yeah.
All right,
Pastor,
understand.
all over the world, you see this big spiritual leader in foreign, and I'm not going to talk about American politics right now because we are going to start Andy.
So
I want to give out my number again, so somebody can send a booklet to somebody to help a child. My number is 265-3846. Right? Or look at get a booklet to help a child. Buy a sneaker, send the child. You don't have to send the money. Send for the booklets. Make a child feel good with some books. And don't tell him we don't care if you're a witness does vote or Baptist or Hindu or Catholic does vote. We continue to get rid around here and not spiritual lines and just line and teaching government.
Nice. So get them the number again. Give them the number again. Let me organize and take some other calls there. Go ahead. Get them the number again. Anderson Wilson for who want to give up.
265-3846. Yeah, just ask some booklets. If I WhatsApp already booklets and send them books, start child them books. Or the child can come and meet all and collect the books too. With the original booklets. And some people that say it's enough for people in Lavantel. And you want to have any book drive, you fetch your lines. Just name one day you want a book drive in Lavantel. And some all here who Heinz had ever buy a booklet for your child or your calling program. Me and only.
Thank you very much, my brother. Oh boy, we lost you there. Somebody write up there that Lyndon Mack is a Jehovah's Witness. Well, I don't know, but what we going to say? There are many issues that we can come with. Morning,
Good morning.
Morning, Lyndon Mack. A pleasant good morning to you, my brother. What's on your front burner? Don't worry about the Jehovah's Witness thing and Bababino. But what's on your front burner this morning?
No, well, Andy, listening to the program, I felt the need to call in. And you see, this ground report, we have a responsibility. And you notice I'm saying we have a responsibility to ensure that we educate the wide public so that people don't go away with their own ignorant belief like these other programs. Okay? And the church and state, there's a reason why the biblical term indicates that church and state is not supposed to come together. But we're dealing with Westminster politics, where politicians try to get the voting population, which are members of the church, to vote for them. Right? Now, I don't have to go into a deep explanation. Now, at the end of the day, the reality is this. Regardless of if you vote, you don't vote, everybody in the system. Because, Andy, as much as they went ahead and moved away what we call the African slave trade, we are still slave in a system that says you have to work until you're 65 before they could give you some luxury life of a pension, right? And at this point in time, the government is selling out. So, I mean, at the end of the day, all Christian persons have to know. But I will say this, the problem that we have in the country is when good men do nothing. And this is why the country goes on, because you hear some people in Christianity says, politics is wicked. And I can tell you, Andy, I grew up in the Adventist church. I hear pastors saying, don't get involved in politics. Politics is bad. It's wickedness. Is this, is that. Okay? But who comes to the table to make the country better? Is citizens who are upright standing citizens. So when you have politicians stealing money from the treasury and cannot account to taxpayers as to how you're spending money, these things will result to anarchy. And the first avenue of who is going to protect who is the police and the army going to protect them in members of parliament, right? So we have to look at the avenue that we are dealing with Westminster politics, and that is always going to be the issue. But Andy, let me tell you what on the front burner. What on the front burner is that I am watching how these murders are happening in Tobago sporadically. I'm watching how we have a president, and let me ask the question, Where is Christine Kangaloo this morning? Is she the president? Is she the president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago? I find it is so docile that we as taxpayers paying this office, and for major issues in this country, this woman is that office is nowhere to be found in the national community of Trinidad and Tobago where it comes to national issues. Why are we still paying the office of the president when they are doing nothing? Why are we still playing a quasi-ceremonial role that does nothing more than driving nice vehicles that we are paying for in order for them to live a very nice and comfortable lifestyle? That can't make sense. If you have a minister directly that is in office for 10 years and they can't directly change around the economy, everything they have to do is blame Kamala. Kamala this, Kamala that. They always had the woman mouth in their name. And 10 years, we are running on a deficit budget. Why are we paying a president office still?
Yeah, but then that's the big question I asked this morning. If it is that, because you are asking something very logical, they're very, 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 very logical. And my question was this morning because I felt a kind of depressed, a kind of hopelessness this morning while I asked the people, do you all really, really love Trinidad and Tobago? Do you all really, really, really want to see the necessary changes that Trinidad and Tobago needs at this point in time? Do they really, really? Because look at what it is you are saying and what it is in my mind. So what that left for anybody like myself or anybody to think if you talking like this, and that is the type of things in my mind.
Let me just actually share to you quickly before another caller comes on. We told citizens that we are a free country, we are a sovereign nation, and these sovereign nations are governed by the principles of our own ethos and laws. If it is directly, we cannot call politicians to account to taxpayers on the money you're spending and how you're spending it, because there has been an idea that when you're going in office and you're inside the parliament, you don't have to hear citizens' voice, then the corruption is going to continue to happen. Let me share this to you, Andy. Right now, where the government can't find money, and right now where they have to use this tint to directly say they have to make money, is because they don't have more money to spend. They blow the money and they can't tell citizens how they're spending it. And this is why I'm saying directly, we have a constitutional breach. And if the president office, who is saying she is the head of state, not the prime minister, she is the head of state. And we have crimes that are happening. Tobago, it could have been a nuclear bomb in the Tobago waters that could have bombed 1,000 radius miles, left, right, and center. And this woman has made no avenue of statements to the national community, to the national public. I just talked to a fisherman just there yesterday, and they are saying the boat that turned over the oil is still inside the water down there. You hear what I'm telling you? And we are having a situation that not even the Ministry of National Security could address. Why are we paying a president's office taxes? Why is Tobago paying taxes for services they are not receiving? And I'm saying at the end of the day, you can't tell citizens you want to tax them, but you are not bringing the relevant services. And this is what I'm saying to you here. The forum I call or let it directly have October the 20th. We need to bring 5,000 persons in that forum and start a very different conversation, because the way this country is going, they are coming to take away all your house. I can continuously say it. The Revenue Authority Board is already in office. They're just waiting for the fools to go and run to vote for them in 2025 for them to come and give all of 5 more years of pressure by saying, if you don't pay off taxes, you could come and they could take away your house, because that is where they're going with the 2030 agenda that says you shall own nothing and be happy. But as I end today, I want the question to be asked to all right-thinking members. Why are we paying a president's office that does nothing on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago? Where is her voice on the issue of national crime? Why is she the head of state if she's not doing anything and she can't call the prime minister to order as the head of state, she cannot call the Prime Minister to order or the National Security Council to order in fixing the business. Why we playing here? Abolish your office is either the people come together and say we don't want a Prime Minister and a President. Get rid of one because taxpayers cannot bear the burden of you all maintaining an office that is not working on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Either they get rid of the Prime Minister office or they get rid of the President. The two cannot work today in 2024 when citizens are barely getting minimum. And you have people on the street that still can't survive, businessmen still complaining. Get rid of one. You'll have a good day.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me take our next one there quick.
Good morning to the presenters on the ground report. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, and Mikey K. Good morning again. I just want to draw to your urgent attention a crisis that commuters are facing who use the PTSC bus service. There is a massive shortage of PTSC buses in San Fernando. Just this week, they dumped 2 more buses in the junkyard in the San Fernando bus station. Right now, there are several decommissioned buses in the San Fernando PTSC bus station. A massive junk heap of old dilapidated decommissioned buses. The San Fernando Port of Spain Limited bus service has been woeful, extremely calamitous for years, and now the service is at its lowest ebb. To get a bus from San Fernando to Port of Spain, you have to wait 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. And in the week, if you're at Citygate and you're waiting for a bus to come down to San Fernando, there are no buses from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. No buses at all. None. The Port of Spain PTSC does not send buses to San Fernando. So the San Fernando bus station is responsible for operating buses on the San Fernando to Port of Spain route. So that bus have to come up from San Fernando to take people down to Port of Spain. And every single weekday, no buses from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And nothing is being done to remedy the service. Big buses going to Guayari from San Fernando and Erin from San Fernando, and they're running empty. Right now, the San Fernando Port of Spain bus service is very poor. Sometimes you might get a big bus, but it's a set of small buses that don't hold anybody. Matchbox buses. Right? I don't know what is the problem. You have tens of new buses sitting in a dockyard in Shagaramas and you won't release them. People are being suffered. It is ridiculous now. So I just thought I'd mention it to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution.
The last caller speaks to built-in or institutionalized inefficiencies. Because if it is that you are catered, whether it be what is considered to be maintenance, and you have a maintenance schedule, and you know the lifespan of these vehicles because they're not going to be there forever, then of course one would have expected that, for example, no buses should be waiting inordinately on a dock, whilst of course buses are being decommissioned. It shows a lack of, whether you want to call it care, whether you want to call it efficiency, when you want to call poor management, and therefore it speaks also to the quality of the individuals that are placed in these institutions to manage these vital services.
So true. Hold 1 minute.
Yeah. Once we have a call.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Andy, Lennox, and Mikey. Andy, you telling me after 9 years and $500 billion, we can even get basic things like water, infrastructure, basic necessities in this country. Where the money gone? Trinidad and Tobago in the money, according to what I heard Sunday gone day from Waymark and the other economists, the country broken. So where all that money going? You're talking about $500 billion, Boy, fire burn this wicked evil PNM boy, and you and your evil government, all you had to go, all you have to want, all you have to account. Just remember, silver bracelet and blue lights, sir, because all you have to account for the country money, where the money going, and it's that.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Lennox and Andy. Eric Williams closed down the railway and have these buses of my bus company for children and them from Grenada and them and St. Lucia. That way you, and that's why the problem today. And the best bus, they have it running from Grandy to Toko every single day, including Sundays and public holidays. And if you see the bus that's running from Grandy to Arima, if you see when rain falling, if you see water in that bus and anything, you don't know where to go. You don't know where to go.
Real people from Grandy and Valencia, all those places who just convert between Grandy and Valencia to Arima, and some people from Grandy straight to Port of Spain. They're really talking real bad about the bus service in that area there. But go ahead, let the people know about that service, that service.
And it's not old bus, it's new bus. We're going like that. I want to know why they have to take the taxpayers' money and treat the taxpayers so bad too. And the fella I talk about the president of this country already, getting about $100,000 a month. And I want to say something. These officials of the government, from the highest to wherever low down, they must be getting a traveling allowance and still using government vehicle and still claiming the traveling. What's really going on in this country, boy? Who's seen about that? And not only that, Andy, the taxpayers paying for their cell phone. And you could never get a cell phone number to call them to talk about anything, because the Prime Minister and the President and everybody, the taxpayer or the public must have access to them anyhow. You could never see them and you could never hear them. Andy, coming back again. What about the Auditor General and this situation and input? We are hearing nothing about it. We're really going on with it, Andy. Don't answer me yet. They will talk about it after. When the new bills came in here, by the truckloads, as they reached the first thing input said, $500 million missing. And nobody is hearing that, man. No, although they really listen to what politicians saying, Andy, although they listen to them, nobody had questioned where that money is and why he caused them to say that. Andy, or answer me the question. Andy, this DPP now looking to inquire about the drivers after 2 years, Andy. Andy, this DPP must be locked up enough. Must, because I see things happen in this country when no investigation is being done and nobody is being locked up. When this, I don't know if it's a police officer or a prison officer, bunks a kid's van from behind and cause the driver to die. And they say they can't do him nothing because the video, they show it on. They can't take that for evidence. And it's when the acting DPP will take out that thing to get that man charged. The acting DPP, and with some Indian woman. And another thing I want to say. 500,000 people in Trinidad will be out of our water supply for about a week. They were telling you, We ever hear that in this country? Andy, you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Right. 500,000 people were out of water for 1 week, or about 1 week. 500,000 people in that. But what really going on to clean? Listen to me. What really going to taxpayers paying for these people? What is the bill of water, boy? Limboat went and take some billions of dollars recently. Here was the answer for the loan. To pay overtime, to pay contractors for delivering water which truck to people, and to pay overtime, and to pay wages. People really doesn't listen to what these people say, Andy. Boy, Andy, boy. These people, I want the people of this country to never, ever, ever forget the PNM for what they have done to the people of this country.
Thank you very much.
The Ground Report with Mikey K.
Oh boy, Mikey K. A pleasant good morning to you. Oh boy, oh boy.
Good morning to you, my brother. Am I coming in?
Yeah, loud and clear.
I am hearing you loud and clear on this side. And my concern about the mediocrity that has been institutionalized in this country by this administration. But go ahead, my friend.
Yes, Lennox, you are so correct. And that last caller, but that I've been listening. That's quite a lot. I heard Lyndon.
Lyndon, man.
Boy, the man bus brandy to Toko. It's only water. You don't know where to stand. Yeah, that's the reality after 9 years. But the fact of the matter is, you have people who are coming to tell you or try to sell you something different when you are living this reality on a daily basis. What more can be said? And it's quite interesting, Lennox. And even if you look at the whole Jindal thing, there was something in the papers yesterday. I believe it was the editorial, where they say curious pullout by Jindal. Now, if a hard-nosed investor declines a deal because of criticism from a country's opposition party, then how serious was he about the investment to begin with? You have to ask that, because Nevin Jindal, chairman of Jindal Steel and Power Limited, is no longer pursuing a bid for the Mudball Petron refinery. He said it's okay. He was hurt. The same thing that's happened with Rowley when his gut start to rot. So that tells you something. Just how serious was this thing to begin with?
No, but it raises another more, what I consider to be equally important question. That if he is not pursuing it, and Dr. Rowley had accommodated him in the way that he did, what really has happened to the request for proposals by other entities who would have paid their packages, pay for their packages, and therefore put in a bid? What about the others? So it appears that while Dr. Rowley was attempting to deny that he was selected, that he had a unique opportunity handed by this administration, the aftermath of the pullout, now clearly from what you have just read, demonstrates that.
Yes.
He was
to say that even if we take Jindal's letter at face value, it means that he did not consider the US $700 million investment cited by Dr. Rowley to be worth the reputational risk. Yet Mr. Jindal has already experienced injury to his professional image because of the allegations of corruption in his native India. What new problems could have been caused by the UNC raising an issue already in the public domain?
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Yes. Mikey, we kind of lost this, so just think and come back. Yeah.
All right, should be better now.
Yes, it is.
All right, but you can go to the lines.
Nice.
Let's see what's going on outside.
So the lines are open, The lines are open. 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120. 239-5120. Look at my WhatsApp call. at 366-3053. 366-3053. Or send us a WhatsApp voice note at the same 366-3053. The lines are open. Go ahead.
Inefficiency, it seemed to be universal because the discussion started with a caller concerning himself with the services provided between Port of Spain and San Fernando, and saying that he had to wait 2 hours. And only yesterday, somebody was telling me that they had to wait a long period in order to get a bus from Chaguanas to Port of Spain. Being a senior citizen, taking advantage, of course, of the free ride that is supposed to have been provided. But it may not worth it if you have to wait that long. You probably may have to urinate or pass some kind of biological material that only that person could pass. And here it is, you have to wait all those hours, and you are a senior citizen. So it appears that mediocrity, that institutionalization thereof, and people putting square pegs in wrong hole, in other words, seem to be a major problem in terms of delivery of services, government services, by this government, because of their policy and program to deliberately support only people who are not prepared or are not qualified, and put them in significant positions that
I think,
continue
Lennox, I think we have somebody online. I think we have a caller. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead. The lines are open, caller. You can get on the inside.
Yes.
Nice. So the lines are open. Just on their thing there, but they organized and they stopped. So you could, yeah. Them organize and get the voice notes and them that it have by the meanwhile too. Because you know everybody they start a little voice notes that they do send. Oh boy. Good morning, caller. A pleasant good morning to you, caller. Hello. Oh boy.
Lost that one?
Yeah, we lost that one. Oh boy. But it's very interesting, very interesting.
It's a shambolic situation that everything is dysfunctional in this country since 2015, brought on by a man who keeps saying that he's efficacious, that he is the best thing since sliced bread, that the PNM has done this and done that.
Hold
and
1 minute, Lennox.
Turns out
Andy
to be
Williams, don't take her on. That is just one of them spirit to change your program.
Lady, a damn good for you. Hear how the same people who you put all your faith in, just because you made a decision not to be involved in the politics again because of your religion, which is your right.
Oh boy, just now let me hear the religion, the right.
You hear how them hypocrites and deceitful people crying you down? I understand it, but damn good for all you because now I see the type of people them is.
We didn't do she nothing. We just was querying.
Any port for a storm, boy.
Oh God.
If there's an opportunist,
morning caller.
That caller has to be the epitome thereof. Good morning.
But what watch out is, in real, it have a lot of people complaining about that transport service from the Grande to Arima and to Arima to Port of Spain. They're saying some of the bus old, they're saying the bus shut down, they say when rain fall, they're getting wet. They say they're getting wet. It's better to stand up outside the bus. They'll get more shelter outside the bus than in the bus. And morning caller. A pleasant good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning.
Yes, morning, caller.
Yeah, you said you have some questions concerning the bus service?
Yes. The Arima to the bus service when it coming to Grande to Arima or Grande to Port of Spain, what is your experiences with that bus service? Because I see you always texting and complaining.
Very, very terrible. It's over ridiculous. If they sit on them in wet, right, the bus coming late, it always some problem. They always shut it down. They're sending the bus off If the bus is 10 o'clock, they're sending it 10:30. They're not on time at all. They're very ridiculous. I think they need to privatize this bus service.
So the seat and them always wet. Somebody said that.
Always wet. They're not servicing the buses. When you're going, all you look at the air condition up there, it's wetting. So apparently when the vents and them closed, it's building up water. And when people open the vents, it's wetting up the seats and they're leaving it just like that. Very ridiculous, especially in Sani Grande.
All right. So, all right. Thank you so much. That's all I want to say about the bus service.
They need to privatize it. And they need to come on time.
Need to come and sign?
Yes, they need to come on time. They don't be sending the bus late. Sometimes 2-3 hours you have to be waiting for a bus.
All right, 2-3 hours only waiting for bus. But is it truth while rain falling, all again wet in the bus when rain falling?
Yes, the buses also have leaks. Sometimes it have a hole in the bus.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh boy. Oh boy, you know what I laugh there, Mikey? That reminds me, you know, when you see some people playing prank and they put a bucket of water over a door. And then when the person come out, they open the door and the bucket fall on them. So it's like them in the bus, them decide to open the air condition vent to get some air condition. So they go angle the vent accordingly. And when the angling the vent is like it's like a whole bucket of water falling on them, just angling the vent for the air condition.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. A prank has been played on us for the last 9 years. Every day for the last 9 years, there's been a prank. People still waking up hoping for good governance, for delivery of services, for people actually doing the work. Still up to that, still compromising, talking about hold on, Rowley, how you get it right after 9 years? Is this government has any intention of getting anything right? Or again, is it just about themselves, their friends, their family, and finances? Everything that is mapped out there, and there are people who are still trying their best to be apologetic on behalf of this administration while they live in a very dirty reality. It's a sickening and grim reality on a daily basis. We have nowhere to go. We actually look at Tobago, 19 murders for the year. On the Sister Isle, 19 murders. A tourist destination. Where else in the region you go find a tourist destination with that kind of nonsense taking place, where special legislation hasn't been put in place so people do not go there with your nonsense. Gangsters hiding out in the hillside and all kind of madness. Listen, 1,000 writers in Hollywood couldn't come up with this script. They can't come up with this script. This is real. You can't find this on Netflix. You can't find it Warner Brothers. Forget anyway. This movie is real. And at the end of the day, it's about murders, home invasions, and it goes on.
But last year you did. Let me take this call. Morning caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the Gong Report this morning? Go ahead, caller. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, caller.
From 7th Malik. I'm calling from 7th Malik. This is the matter. Andy, you know, I beg for my help in my house. Andy, this country going more than what I'm doing. Guyana first point. Andy, as another clip yesterday, a girl from Africa. Please, for the citizen country to listen. Because we only have this country. Andy, we under siege. Andy, we under siege. You get the public, the bus, in the bus, some money can't get a market action because they're robbing each of them.
I ain't hear you. What are doing the drivers?
You don't kill that.
Yeah, I ain't hearing him properly, you know.
Now we ain't hearing you properly, boy. We gotta take our next call. Morning, caller.
Morning, Silver Fox here.
Go ahead, the Fox.
No, I don't understand how big people, real big people, right? Every morning they come in and saying this wrong, that wrong, and we still sitting down there and doing nothing. Eh? Why we doing nothing? I don't understand that. We this is our country, this is our island, Trinidad and Tobago. It's time for we to get out on the street and make our voice be heard. Right? We have to demand what we want.
We hearing you, no Fox. You done there?
Yeah, we have to make things work for ourselves. We cannot just be sitting and every morning we come in and the bus this that. We are getting water. We are getting current. They're buried. We dead. We what more we want again? What more Trinidad and Tobago want again? We so love Rowley, we so love the black man that we're taking all the pressure from the black man. Eh? We black too. What is wrong with us? We are sickening bunch of Trinidad and Tobago people. This why we are not getting up. Every morning big people, the bank this, that. Oh God! Oh God! What is it?
Obia in the tail. Obia in the tail.
We buying a set of costume and say we going carnival. We going all kind of stuff. And what affecting us? We're not standing up. Eh? Only stop complaining. Stop the complaining. Stop it today. Stop it. Let we say we're coming out. Everything gone through. The taxing we for our own house that we fight up to bill. Same house we fight up to bill for years. We just get through billing it and we still owing mortgage and we have to pay Carlin boat. A man is always a king in a next man country. Carlin boat is a king in we country. Oh God! Trinidad and Tobago Fox out.
Oh boy, you could hear it in the voice, boy. You could hear it in the Fox's voice.
But then we are ask again because you did it the other day. You look at you the other day. You look the other day when I was saying, but you make it clear. It's them. Is it that's what people of Trinidad and Tobago really want? Understand, you know? You're hearing the cries, you're hearing the pain, you're hearing the frustration. Right? Like for instance, Mother Bernie say, it's all to make Tobago look bad. We need to get these people out of our country. They are not good for this country. We want to live good. And then it's a ban. Ban say, ban is a trap. Ban say.
No.
Yeah, we say.
We have to.
He say it's is sad to hear intelligent brother, where he put brothers like Mikey talk and still supporting Kamala while we suffer. And then he finished by saying in any country what he's saying is the opposition is supposed to rally the people and bring the people out or however it go. Or caller, the opposition is supposed to rally the people. It is what oppositions do. Oh boy. At the end of the day, that is that's just his opinion at the end of the day. And yeah, I'm sure Mikey rather to support Kamala Prasad Bisesa than to support what Ban is supporting, which is the PNM-led government by Dr. Rowley. But Mikey's a big boy. He can handle these stories.
Yeah, I think you answered it well. I mean, you're talking about apples and oranges. So you see, what we see in here is that, and I don't want to compound the frustration from my good friend Silva in Tobago. But some of the reasons why people have reached to the boiling point, Andy, is because you read about all these different organizations and institutions that have been affected. Trinbago is crying out. They came right here and they cried out on the ground report, right? You have drivers, the school bus drivers who haven't been paid or they're being paid late, as the case may be, and school is about to reopen. You don't see them coming out and protest. Not one pan player put on their sticks or pick up their stick to make a song in protest. You have teachers who are not being paid, some of them not being paid. You don't hear about that in protest. And the list goes on.
SRP police officers are not even being paid.
That's right.
And everything
MTL,
quiet.
That's right. And you hear all these complaints, right? But at the end of the day, at the end of it all, what do these people do? So here you have the division. And that division is people like us who have been fighting in the trenches, the true patriots, all of us stakeholders, everybody say, let's go out there, and they go out. We still believe that many of these people who are talking, when they sing this song, they have a part in this woman's song where she just say, but don't get me wrong, I still PNM strong. Yeah, because you're talking and you're absolutely doing nothing about it. How many of them are saying, let's sit down and talk to the opposition, let's get this thing going? Because their song is still going along the lines of, don't get me wrong, I'm complaining, I'm suffering.
We think again, Mikey, to go come back on. But I mean, while you come back on, you're saying those suffering or whatever. Let me just take this call by the time. You go cut and come back. Go ahead, Clive Nunez. Go ahead, Clive Nunez. A pleasant good morning to you, caller. Where are you calling from, or what's your contribution on the ground report this morning? Morning. Oh boy, next. Morning.
Hello?
Yeah, morning, caller.
Yeah, morning. Andy Williams, Tobago.
Go ahead, Tobago.
What, man? Not hearing you on the radio. I ain't hearing all you at all. What?
You go get we on Real Media TT on Facebook. Real Media TT YouTube. You can get YouTube easy. Corridor Transformation, Love Laventi, Workers' Right thing. Just anyone you can get us on. So I will always send you the link. You have a cell phone?
Right, because I hear Mr. Robert was talking yesterday about some changes and so forth they were making and thing now.
All right.
I ain't hearing all you at all. I say, well, like, you're not on the radio again.
I know, like the Likoto Jumbi work. Me know every money rules this country. You know, money is a big thing. So long everybody in this country, they take buyout.
You understand? And every day the crime and the crime and the rising every day, and the people and them not coming out when all you call them out at all, boy.
And Tobago going,
so
and Tobago.
Otherwise, and Mr.
You're live, you know. You're live on the
next one.
You're live on the program right now. Look, Mikey K and Lennox Smith, them listening to you. So that's why you're like organize and lock on to us on Real Media TT. You go here, we still.
I ain't too familiar with the media TT and them things, so you know. That's why I just call normal.
Okay.
That's why I just call normal. Tell them I say morning. I'm glad to hear the voice, man.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
All right, then, well, you take care.
All right.
Same to you.
Oh, boy. Next caller, morning caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, gentlemen. Calling from the Barak Party. Gentlemen, I want to support Silver Fox 120% this morning. What really wrong with these people in this country, boy? Oh God, what really wrong? Now, let me tell you something, This country couldn't get a better leader to wake up this population than Rowley. For the citizen of this country to know that, oh, hear what? If somebody want to come and govern this country and show the people how dotish they are, how coward they are, how they could take whatever they want and they had to stay quiet, Rowley doing it. It just shows that, hear what? There are population, a part of this population just wants no betterment for themselves. 9 years ago, they was at A. 9 years forward, they're still at A. No improvement, no betterment, nothing for themselves. And they're very comfortable with that. So Rowley could come up on a platform and blame every single thing on the planet of the earth that is going wrong in this country beside his leadership. And they clap and they accept that and they wait to go down by Forensic Science Center and get an autopsy for the children or the daughter or the husband or some kind of thing, and life goes on. Likewise, and this is what is always be telling all you know. All you have to be careful with the type of people who just come and use the platform for their own agenda, and as soon as they get through, we see the pan fraternity come the other day, and they're beating the chest and bawling and making a certain noise about who's selling out the pan and this and all kind of thing. With them now, we see Rosia and the union them do the same thing. With them now, every time they are faced with some sort of atrocity where their little realm is concerned, they go look for some media outlet or some media fraternity to come and voice the thing. Rowley go hear them and then give them, call them easy and give them a little kakada and then quiet again. You go say, hey, all they making the tribe look bad, you know. All they had to behave all themselves. All they want them Indian them to come and say, oh, watch out the African fighting against the African government. And they go say, oh God, yes boss, yes massa, we understand. What, share what, I go fix up all you, just stay quiet. And they quiet again. And the life goes on. And that is what Trinidad is. We have the only thing left for Rowley to do with the population in this country is to walk in and say, here what, I have to be the father of everybody in this country. One child has to be mine. And, and you're crossbreeding it with inbirth. So everybody now going to look like Dalmatian in the country. Black and white with spot. That is the only thing left for Rowley to do for this population. Because I don't look what happened in Bangladesh. The same thing that happened for years in this country, where the government choosing who they want to put in whatever government position, they do that. Bangladesh say they are accepting that. And look, the prime minister had to resign. She had to flee the country because the citizens stand up and say, hey, hear what? Everybody in this country, once you have qualification, once you're competent, you're supposed to be able to get a job in this country. It has no favoritism with whose party, politicians, and accepting that. Look, the crime that take place in England, where 3 children were stabbed to death. The whole country come now and protesting. They say they're accepting that. They have to do something about that. So in Nigeria, same thing. So all around the world, people standing up and saying, here what, we ain't accepting dotishness. We put all day to make betterment for the country and the citizen. All you have to do that. If you can't do it, get out and go out of this place. We just have Rowley there for 9 years and look, he talking like he deserves to be there for the next 90 years and demanding the population to say here what, all you have to put me there. And we just sit by and accept 60-something murders in 1 month. And he could come and tell earlier, it's because the opposition fault. It's because Gary Griffith was causing that. It's because of this. And they clap. That obia with that man using there had to be real strong for some people because it is strong for me. It had nothing to me. And when we talk about let's come out, let me say something. When you come out there, there's a few elderly people. We're afraid to go in front and stand up against the police and decide that, hey, here what, I'm willing to lose my life or some kind of thing. And then we go back, we lock up in our homes, and when you see they jump over the fence and they do this and do that to all you, then you're looking around. So where the support, boy? Why nobody are helping me? It's because we're wasting time in this country. This country going to have a place where it might not know coming back. When this thing happened in Venezuela here, and if Maduro remain as president, is pressure. If he come out of government, is pressure. Because we have an illiterate, dotish, incompetent Rowley and Stuart Young and the rest of the government that put every egg that Trinidad possibly have in one basket. And that basket look like it going down to the bottom of the sea. So tell me, all this debt and all this money and thing that these people borrow and thieving out and thing from the country. Who going to pay back that? Where the money going to be coming from to pay back that? And when all you face IMF now, and IMF tell the citizens the same thing all you couldn't do, where all you feel was okay now, and all you can't do it, then we go want to stand up and fight. Then we go want to kill because we can't go and fet for carnival, and we can't go stink and dirty, and we can't sit down and drink with beer and things. That's where IMF just tell you, you know. All that other cut out to me because all you borrowing money from me and all that pay back me now, you know. So all them nonsense are the cut out. When you see that happen now, and we face with a situation like that, who are you going to ask to come out to protest? You can't protest against the government then because it have nothing left to protest for. Now we have to say enough is enough and get rid of Rowley. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Take care.
Nice. Thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So it still boils down where everybody's saying it to the people, you know. It still boils down to the people. Let me take this call. Morning.
Andy.
Yeah.
Morning to you, Lennox and Mikey.
Go ahead, my brother.
You hear me good because my voice is so good these days. Yeah?
How we go forget about my everybody? What that is the first time I hear you said we move your boy. I find you take long to come in.
Yeah, what's happening?
Go ahead.
I was coming down for me arrow. Coming down, eh? I be passing through Mountain Hill and some friends of mine who was here a couple of years ago. They say, what happened to this beach? This was the most beautiful, they call it, oh God, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, the landscape. He said, who do this nonsense? I see a fellow named Sin, meaning Sinanan. All the man had to do was go and ask Sujo Ambachan how to fix the beach. Look what that man do. He decided to play his woodcutter and start chopping down coconut tree. Ever hear anybody doing that? Yeah? That fella crazy boy.
Wow.
And the next thing I want to ask you, I hear one time with him. Who began the license office? The Commissioner of Transport or the Minister of Works? Not the Commissioner of Transport? Eh?
The Commissioner of Transport to do what?
Who began, he or the Minister of Works?
Well, the Commissioner of Transport, when it comes into that, supposed to be the bigger one. The Minister of Works is just under their portfolio.
That's right. So how come he have this license officer all over the place giving people problem? He can't tell, he's not supposed to tell the Minister of Works not to even put a nail in a tree. He don't have that authority. You understand what I'm saying? If one citizen want to put a sign on a road, you have to consult with the Commissioner of Transport. So how they have this thing working back to front, so the Commissioner of Transport say, I mean, the Minister of Works say, I no pride in himself or what? Eh? Take hold of yourself, partner. Don't let the Commissioner of Transport boss you around. You is the boss between the two of you. Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So he has no right telling Clark what to do. So Clark, get some respect for yourself. This man has been look like a damn fool all over the place. You know why? He don't care about nobody. I'm out to talk here, Andy. You see this water thing about coming up from Friday? 500,000 people in no water. I want to know when they start to clean that. If rain starts to fall, and they have to stop, what is the position? Because you know one set of filth will go back in the thing. Correct?
Correct.
So what happened? You say out water for months then.
Well, again, it's all up to the people. The people, the people, the people, the people.
That's why I call. Every people don't like their country. But I like my country. But I alone can't do nothing. Why saying to this, the waterman, we name? Marvin Gonzalez?
Yeah, Marvin Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, yeah. You better call Ganga Singh in Guyana and ask him how to go about this thing, eh? Because you have a clue how to do nothing.
And Ganga big in Ghana.
Yeah, but Ganga ain't gonna mind tell him, look, Ganga is a Trinidadian, you know, Andy. Ganga ain't gonna mind say you can't do that, you can't clean all one time. You have to be a madman. How about the rains when the rains come? And everything come to a halt, what to the people? We go remain without water. Let Lennox see if he can contact Ganga and let him know what's going on over here.
All right, Ganga know exactly what's going on over here already. Morning, caller. Go ahead, caller. Oh, Lord. Clive Nunez, you know, long you're trying to get through up in here, but you ain't talking. Morning, caller.
Morning, dear. Andy. This is from Kaisabad. What frequency you all on? You all on any other frequency?
Yeah, we on Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube.
Okay then, thanks.
So just go Facebook, YouTube. You could go Corridor Transformation. You could go Love Lavante. You could go Workers' Right Transport, Workers' Right Platform. But just on YouTube, if you don't have a Facebook, you have Facebook?
Yeah, we have Facebook, yes, but
you'll get you real easy on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah, you'll get you real easy. Real Media TT on YouTube. Right now, we live, you know.
All right, okay then, thanks. Real Media TT on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Clive Nunez, you're there. Look how long you only calling and putting you through. You ain't talking when you have to talk. Oh, boy.
Is that a WhatsApp call?
Yeah, it's a WhatsApp call. You only calling there.
Well, if he calls direct, it might be easier for him. Give him the direct numbers.
I studied if he in the country, because I think the last time he wasn't in the country, that's why he calling WhatsApp. Let me try him again.
Well,
he only ringing. It look like it's urgent. And I'm going to say a pleasant good morning to the over 600 and something of you on my side so far that are locked on, and the hundreds of you that are on Corridor Transformation and the Workers' Right Platform. Morning, caller. Clive Nunez.
Andy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nunez trying to get you.
I've been trying.
Yeah, but WhatsApp.
First thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, first thing, PTSD. I don't have to boast. You could have asked, you can ask people in this country that one of the best boards that in the period when Jack Warner and Kamala was Prime Minister, they used to boast about the PTSD board. Now I am hearing a particular caller saying that there are buses down.
Yeah, buses down way. People who calling, people who calling direct kind of blocking you because your WhatsApp. You out of the country?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Yes, all right. But go ahead. Now, but you go ahead.
Yes. All right. Good.
You said the
so
best
I am
setup.
saying why nobody. No, I am saying why nobody videoing, taking out photos of the buses in Shagaramas, as that caller is saying, and let the people see. Only this week, Sinanan said that they are buying 100 buses from Venezuela. You understand? So, but our board that the government used to boast about, at one time, they say we were the best board. We got buses from Brazil. They call them Marco Polo. Some of them lasted as much as 25 years. Okay? That was the best. It was Manning that went and bought buses from China, right? And those are the buses that give a lot of trouble. Good? And that's the problem, right? Anytime the Balize is in office, PTSD falls, right? As many other things. Barakwa is the man that understands. I say in Trinidad, I just call Trinidad and Tobago the Walt Disney of the Caribbean. Mikey K will understand what
I am saying when I say that, right? I'm saying that in this country, and I want to make it quite clear for people, and I could talk because I've been part of 1970. What is going on in Trinidad here now? If it was 1970, it couldn't go on. Williams got scared, and that is why he declared a state of emergency. In my 84 years of existence, I have experienced 15 years imprisonment, 8 months one time, 7, a number of us, right? Macandal, Cambon, yes, we experienced that. I experienced police beating me during the bus strike, right? I experienced tear gas on Charlotte Street and nearly get tear gas in the Savannah because I was there this Saturday before. When Mikey came past and meet, I said, Mikey, if you go down in that area there, you're going to get locked up. And he said, all right. And he went down there and he get locked up. What happened to those cases up to today? You understand? We have to know, and clearly I am not fooling about that. But the problem in Trinidad, and I could speak from the SEMTE experience, it is only when thousands of feet on the street in any country that changes. When people talking what they are talking, it is 1970 that moved Shantytown onto the Beetham. And when Williams call it Beetham, when you put blocks now and call it Beetham Estate, we rev up again, and that is how we change it to Beetham Gardens. You understand? Because it's only when the thousands of feet on the street. Let me give you an example. The Children's Hospital, and I sent a message because Kamala didn't see me for 5 years, only making promises. She tell Gary Griffith to organize the meeting, he ain't do it. She tell Barry Padarat to do it, it ain't do it. But if she wanted to see me, she would have seen me because she put me on the board without even asking me whether I would accept. But because my guts, my life is PTSD, that I went and served. You understand? So that is what we're talking about. So the point I'm making, I sent a message to tell her by Stephen Cadiz, right? Listen, you want the Children's Hospital to be open? Name a date and call people in Trinidad and Tobago and ask them, all who want the Children's Hospital open, come outside the hospital. Not on the highway, right? On the side of the highway. And you will have miles of people, and the hospital would have been open. They had a burns unit, all that kind of thing. You understand? When people talking, when Rowley was talking his nonsense, and I knew he was lying, right? Good. When he said the government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down, and then when he said that in Mahabela, they clap. You understand? Or Lucas clap. He go on Belmont. He say the same thing. He said, and for those of you whose head might be in the fridge or the refrigerator and didn't hear, I must repeat. Months later, you close it up, right? Petrotrin, and there is 100 years old who wanted the president of Guyana when Rowley went over there and offering Petrotrin. He said, no, I don't want that. We're going to build our own refinery. Presently in Guyana, 5 hotels are being built. I saw that this week. You understand? And it is only when it's thousands of feet on the street. You know why Williams declared the state of emergency in 1970? After the Basil Davis funeral, that the police shot Joshua Gordon. You understand? When the front of the funeral was in Mova Junction, the back was under the Lavantil flyover, pavement to pavement, and people were joining over 100,000. And when we organized the meeting for the 21st, people were going to come from all over Trinidad and put about 250,000 people in front of Whitehall, and Williams would have had to go. You understand? So I am not talking fairy tale. When people in this country, hello.
Yes, go ahead. When people in this country,
right. When
take a
people
little
in this
minute
country, right. I'm grateful for that because I'm really trying to get in. Right?
Yeah. You go ahead.
Right. Good. When in Guanapo, right, the 4 children was slaughtered and then sent to a funeral agency, right? And I got traumatized, and I was not in Trinidad. I never know the killers. I never know the children nor the parents. And people in Trinidad accepted that. You understand? And as long as you accept that, and people must know it's thousands of feet to be on the street. And you know what is the most effective weapon? The loudspeaker on the car. You see, those big horns, we used to have that. And when we passed through a village and places, when we marched from Port of Spain on the 12th of March 1970 to Cuba, but this was threatening, but this had a rifle down by his feet, by the swimming pool, and a revolver in his hand. And I, on the truck, call on the people, eyes right. That time you didn't have Mount Hope. In other words, ignore him. And when they ignore him, you see thousands of people facing Mount Hope, yes? And leave him there. When at the end, he put up his fist and say, power, power, power to the people. And he went and he tell Eric Williams, if you ain't doing nothing about them, I gonna join the Black Power. When Clive Spencer and them reactionary trade unionists went and tell Williams, if he don't lock us up, good. Clive Spencer said that in a full page center page of the Express. Good. He said, they say they will join the Black Power because they had no choice. The Wassa workers run Clive Spencer and Daniel Reed and all that and Manswell and Krishna and them come up there when the workers rejected their union, Noj, and went and formed a workers' committee. They wanted Cambon and myself. All right? Thanks for the time. I hope I get some other time. Good. But it's only thousands of feet on the street. When I listen to Woodbrook, she just be begging people. It's the same faces. Just see. You not see the young people. Nobody agitating them. Nobody opening their eyes. What we used to do was to educate the people with this capitalist system. Right? And when Rowley, you see the same AV oil? You remember
who was the motivators back then to get young people involved, to get the various NGOs involved, to get all the various factors that are crying out today? What used to be the light of that armor to get people on board where you all could have a 1970 and a this and a Black Power?
Yeah.
Who was the people?
Yes. We were not Black Power. We were power to the people. Is Raoul Pantin in a big article when we went to say Black Power stuns the city. And the media just call us Black Power. We were power to the people. Our banner in front was Indians and Africans unite.
All right, so
that was the power.
So just history.
That was the power.
So just history, just asking. So back then with all these various protests, big protests where the people come out in their thousands, it just used to be the average citizens is who used to motivate the people to come out, or did it have any?
Because you're sending the microphones all over, and calling your meeting, and the thing get bigger and bigger and bigger until it almost exploded.
Also, it's the average people. The opposition back then. The opposition back then didn't have nothing to do with that. It was the average person used to mobilize the people.
Yeah. The DLP and them were not. They just flagging, they supporting now, they ain't supporting now. No. It's the people on the street.
It's who did it.
And I will continue to say that. It's the thousands of feet on the street in Bangladesh. What do you think? It's thousands of feet on the street.
And
the Prime Minister
gone. She gone. Yes.
Yeah. You think if you put 110,000 people in front of Rowley Palace up there to a man in bill? Huh? What do you think? You think he's staying? He already said last year or earlier this year he's thinking about retirement because he's seeing how the breeze is blowing. You understand? So I'm not talking fiction. I'm talking the reality of Trinidad and Tobago. And I see Mikey say they wipe out the middle class. The middle class are the public servants and them who does support the Balize boy. The Balize. And you must play certain calypsos. Right? There's a calypso called Mr. Trinidadian by Maestro. And you will understand the thinking of Trinidad. We were able to move after Maestro sing that calypso about the behavior of the Trinidadian.
Nice. Thank you so much.
You play that, you will understand. Okay? Thanks for the time. But I was trying to get in. And thanks very much, Andy.
No problem. You get you, man. You get you. Oh, boy. Just a set of history. So does the people doing mobilizing? So while some of you wait for the opposition to mobilize you all and this and that and however, well, all I heard history itself is that it's we the people did the mobilizing to get rid of the people. Mikey, we had to be on time this morning. I have to be at Daddy this morning at least before 9. Mikey, what says thou, my brother? Yeah, Mikey, what says thou? Yes, well, closing remarks.
Well, let's just say, of course, to all the good people out there, thank you so much. We had a little technical challenge this morning, but that's okay. We're just working out the kinks for you. Don't forget, later on this evening, The Observer is on at 7 p.m. on Guile TV, Amplier, Flow, Tigo, Facebook, YouTube, and of course at 8 p.m. our very own Lennox Smith Corridor Transformation. And I do believe we do have, we continue with the UNC pre-budget consultations that are taking place. I know tomorrow, last night was Point Fortin. I know tomorrow it's going to be at SWWTU in Port of Spain. So that continues then, and there's always one that is going on out there. Well, a lot is happening out there, folks. Right, so we have that, and well, we have a lot to discuss. Woo. Okay, Andy.
Nice. So that is duties to take care of.
Tomorrow is Brazil Secondary School.
Tomorrow is Brazil Secondary.
As well as also SWWTU in Port of Spain. So the UNC pre-budget consultations continue. So giving you and institutional stakeholders a chance to voice your concerns, experiences, and budget recommendations. You don't want to miss it. So you can go out there and be part of that. And that brings us to the end, my good friend. Until tomorrow, God willing, we are out of here.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith. The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
And me care by no shirt and thing. Soon as PNM win, not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. Well, the tax in me house and thing. And me cash up online and thing. What a thing, oh, what a thing, what a thing, what a thing. Down in Trinidad, I pay a gunshot a fling. Every day them get up is a war. Where the Ras and Aki really fighting for. Cause the rich still rich and the poor still poor. No matter how we knock on the da. Well, the poor can't take it no more. So them nines, them a go drum and fish sure. We really don't care about the la. We really don't care about the la. Well, me can't buy no books and things.
Whoa, boy, so until tomorrow morning, please God. Same time, same place.
Not a thing.
Christopher, all of you. TT Rebel, all of you. That a lock on. Dress school, all of you. Primraj, and the hundreds of you that are locked on Real Media TT Facebook, Real Media TT YouTube, and for those of you locked on to Corridor Transformation,
Tell me what I want, tell me what I want.
and Love Lavanti.
Tell me what I want. Each and every day, and you pick me a band.
Until tomorrow morning, please God. Same time, plain place.
Read the news another.
We are out of here.
Another mother cry, another mother mourn. Me a teach the youth from dusk till the dawn. Tell them bad mind can't stop me at all. Yeah, I get no green.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang. Thank you.